Good evening. Almost all of the 30 all-black players have left New Zealand during the past 18 hours bound for South Africa. The players have been leaving in small groups from various centres in New Zealand and are now assembling to move on to South Africa. Their series of matches in this country will include 4 test matches.
The rebel All Blacks who flew out of New Zealand last night did not leave unnoticed. At both Wellington and Auckland airports, groups of demonstrators had gathered in force to protest the players' departure. 7 members of the Heart protest group were arrested during the demonstration at Auckland Airport. We contacted the news desk at New Zealand Broadcasting Corporation late today, and they say the whole country is abuzz with talk of the sudden departure of the rugby players, and more players are expected to join the team in a few hours' time. New Zealand Prime Minister Mr. David Lange, a staunch opponent of formal sporting contacts with South Africa, today condemned the tour plans and emphasised that the players would not be representing their country. Other anti-tour groups have been quick to call for action against the team, suggesting that they should not be considered for selection to future All Black teams. The last official New Zealand tour to South Africa in 1976 led African and Caribbean nations to boycott the Montreal Olympics, and the 1981 Springbok Tour of New Zealand resulted in countrywide demonstrations in that country during the tour period.
Well, all I can say, it's too good to be true. We are here and we cut off from everything. We don't know what's happening. We'll go back and if there's anything, we'll investigate it and report accordingly.
When was the first time that you actually heard of the tour taking place?
I'm not absolutely certain that the tour is taking place unless a message I had last evening from Radio New Zealand was that players had been seen leaving New Zealand. As at this moment, obviously, if that is correct, I imagine that they're en route to South Africa. But as far as I am personally concerned, and as far as the New Zealand's concerned, New Zealand Rugby Union is concerned, we have had no advice from anybody that these additional players are going to South Africa. If any New Zealand players have gone overseas to play anywhere without the permission of the New Zealand Union, it is a situation which, to my knowledge, has never occurred before. We've never had a situation, to my knowledge, on any previous occasion where players have been invited from New Zealand to play overseas in this way without it coming through the New Zealand Union. So this is a completely new situation, which quite frankly is unacceptable to the New Zealand Rugby Football Union.
I spoke to Cess on a number of occasions, and at no stage was the tour broached. To Cess's credit, he would be very correct in everything he did. And at no stage have I had any discussions contrary to what some of the media are saying with Cess Blasey on this tour, and I'm quite certain that he was not aware of what was going on.
On the 12th of April 1986, 22 New Zealand players slipped out of their country bound for Hong Kong. Some of them had been in action earlier that day in provincial matches. Another 8 players were already in London, playing in the International Rugby Board Centenary Festival. All 30 players had a common ultimate destination, South Africa. The rugby coup of the century had succeeded. The cloak and dagger operation had prevented anyone from attempting to deny these individuals their freedom of choice. Their one desire was to engage the Springboks in a battle for glory, a battle for world rugby supremacy, a battle of the giants.
I think the New Zealand Rugby Union will look at it very carefully and hopefully come out with a kind decision.
But to have played in those games at the IRB Centenary was a great thrill for me personally, to be in a team with players of Danny Gerber's standard, Nas Boda, Carol Duplessis, Flippy, of course. These are guys that we'd seen a lot of in '81, but not really got to know. And it was a terrific occasion, and one of the more enjoyable in my career, to be able to live with these guys in the same hotel. People that we're not allowed to go and play against in their own country.
These men had triumphed for what they believed in, total freedom in rugby, divorced from the double standards of meddling politicians. That this tour took place at all is a tribute to the players who stood up for their rights to make it happen. This is their story. They were invited by the Transvaal Rugby Union, its president, Louis Late.
Now, already you know that we have today in our midst 30 New Zealand rugby players who have come to this country as individuals to play against South African provincial sides and hopefully play also against the strongest team we can offer them.
Our team members have been invited by the Transvaal Rugby Union to play in South Africa as individuals. We are not the All Blacks. This is not the official team of the New Zealand Rugby Union, and we will be known as the Cavaliers. We are aware South Africa has political problems, but as sportsmen, we emphasise it would be improper for us to comment on them.
Dr. Leck, are the players making up the All Black Party being paid in any way or form for touring South Africa?
You must be kidding, sir. That'll make them professionals, won't it? Let me make a point that even the New Zealand Prime Minister made it fairly clear that as individuals, the players could tour. He's on the record saying that. And that's exactly how they are here.
In terms of captaining the team, they've asked me to be captain of the touring party. As far as captaining them in the games against the best South African can provide, I must look to my selectors. I don't know, I can't guarantee that I'll be there, but I would certainly like to. As far as our chances, certainly we come here, and certainly there is pressure on us, and that, I'm sure, will help us to perform. So we're not here on a jaunt, we're here to beat you.
Just as far as the tour is concerned and us touring here, and I see it as a great thing in that it's going to open a door in rugby that should never have been shut.
It goes back to the cancellation of the All Black tour to South Africa in the middle of last year, when through legal work the tour was cancelled by the New Zealand Rugby Union, and from that moment there were something like 3 efforts to get the same team to South Africa. That was over a period of about 3 weeks following the cancellation, but the time was so short that they didn't have much hope really. And then later last year in '85, a couple of us were approached by the Transvaal Rugby Union to see if we would be interested to tour this country at their invitation. And we approached the same players that were selected in '85, just very casually, and asked if they might be interested, and there was a very keen interest to do so. So at that stage, we referred that back to Transvaal, and they suggested that a couple of us go up to Hong Kong just to see how best to approach it. This we did in December. They asked us how we thought they should organise it, and we gave a few suggestions, and there was quite a bit of dialogue at that stage. And from that moment, their legal representative then came to New Zealand, met most of the players on an individual basis, showed them the terms that they would be coming over here. A form was produced, which is basically the tours agreement, that should they tour the country, these would be the terms under which they would tour. And I think there was only one person who didn't sign that form. It's legally, it had no standing. It wasn't an invitation, simply that if they were to tour, if the invitation was to be passed on, that these would be the conditions under which they would tour. And this agreement has been made available to the media. They've seen that. From that point, it was, I suppose, cloak and dagger stuff back home. An agent in New Zealand was appointed to cover travel arrangements and so on, and he did most of the organisation work. There was no certainty that the tour was going to take place right up until the last minute, so that possibly helped us. There was a lot of confusion amongst the players as to whether it was going to go, travelling times and so on. So possibly that helped us with hindsight to get here.
It gives me great pleasure to be standing here this morning and to announce another major sponsorship for the Yellow Pages company.
The Yellow Pages deal injected a whopping R2.5 million into the tour, the first time South African rugby had clinched such a sponsorship. Linked in the package was an agreement that the New Zealanders carry the company's logo on their distinctive black and yellow jerseys, and a massive advertising drive to promote the Battle of the Giants series. Officials, among them Transvaal Chief Louis Late, maintained the sponsorship did not contravene any of the game's amateur rules. In the meantime, Danny Craven returned from the International Board meeting in London. He had borne the brunt of the initial backlash, and he confessed it had been one of the worst periods of his life. "You play the game according to the rules," he told newsmen, "and we have broken those rules." He promised a full investigation into Transvaal's actions. With him on his return was Vice President Fritz Eloff. They had been instructed by the International Board to stop the tour. No such action was taken. The South African Board finding that the tour did not contravene its constitution or any international board bylaw. Ellis Park, home of Transvaal Rugby and the venue for the opening floodlit match against the junior Springboks. The tour was on. There was no turning back. Colin Meads, tough and uncompromising, bemoaned his team's lack of preparation. The junior box didn't care.
We don't play a lot of night games at home, but I don't think that was one of the reasons why it was such a close game and one of the reasons we almost lost. I think prior to the game, Colin Meads and myself tried to do our best to tell the guys what South African rugby players are really like and how hard they really are, and I don't think they really knew until they'd played the game, and they didn't realise how hard they were, and it was certainly a very hard game. There wasn't much in it all the way through, for that matter. It was only a drop goal in the last minute by Grant Fox that enabled us to win it. I think we played reasonably well up front. We mauled reasonably well, we rolled the maul reasonably well, but I don't really think we took our chances in the backs. And, you know, I guess those sort of problems happened in the first game, so we were also without our top 8 players who were still in the UK, or they had arrived, but we didn't consider them. So, you know, we weren't really at full strength, but that's not an excuse. I think it's just one of those first game matches on tour that we have, and especially in South Africa, and I guess you know, we were lucky to come out on top.
Captain that night was the rangy Canterbury breakaway Jock Hobbs, the man who'd led New Zealand to Argentina in Dalton's absence the previous season. Hobbs, strong and intelligent, a man who had represented New Zealand in 17 tests.
Jock plays his rugby in Christchurch, New Zealand, and of course plays for his province, Canterbury, and he's not the Canterbury captain, but he's played in all the Ranfurly Shield games that Canterbury defended in the last 2 or 3 years, and he's been a very good player for Canterbury and also for New Zealand, and he's one of these players who isn't far from the ball. He plays his heart out for 80 minutes, and he's been a great asset to the New Zealand forward pack, and you know, he's got plenty of years ahead of him still.
Well tackled, Wayne Shelford, and New Zealand is still going very well with it. Pika Reid, McDowell, but good work by the junior box. Out to Helford Miller. Helford Miller, and it goes there from Jannie Breert to Frans Wessels. Jaco Reinach chasing for it, inside the Wessels. Frans Wessels back to Reinach, and he can score here. He's the fastest man on the field, and he's going to score under the post. Jaco Reinach. Jaco Reinach it is, under the post. Captain Jock Hobbs waiting for it, trying to catch them offside, and the All Blacks will let it come when it suits them. Jock Hobbs with it, holding it back there to Donald. Donald to Grant Fox, and the attempted drop goal. Is it there? It is a beautiful one. Grant Fox. Grant Fox it is. Grant Fox, the boy from Auckland.
So there it was, a snap drop goal by Auckland whiz-kid Grant Fox, his only success in 5 attempts, helping the tourists squeak in for a 1-point triumph. Time and time again, the New Zealand forwards demonstrated their famous rolling maul, the one awesome aspect of their game that was to send out ominous danger signals to the men who would later plot Springboks tragedy. But the national selectors had reason to smile. They were looking for a replacement for rugby league defector Ray Mort, and they had glimpsed such a man on the juniors' right wing. His name, Jaco Reinach, the Free State sprint champion who was beginning to show signs of international class. The next day, the critics were almost unanimous. While the New Zealanders were powerful at forward, they could still be beaten at three-quarter. There were those who claimed that 40% possession would be enough for a Springbok triumph, but the Springboks were still more than 2 weeks away. There was another hurdle closer at hand, the one South Africans were calling the 5th test, the big one against Northern Transvaal.
We're happy to have won. The game was exactly how we thought it would be, very, very hard.
And how do you think this augurs for the rest of the tour?
Well, I think that all the games will be hard, and that's what we've prepared for ourselves for. That'll be a very, very hard tour.
Off to Pretoria, and the New Zealanders hard at work under a blazing sun in the capital city. Andy Dalton will be making his first appearance on tour. Under him, a team of test match calibre, a tough one.
We realise it's going to be a very hard game, and we are approaching it in that vein.
The danger man, as always, will probably be Nice Buerta. Have you got any special tactics or plans worked out for him?
No, nothing special, nothing from any other game. We approach every game in the same, with the same attitude, and there'll be no different tomorrow.
With rugby fever now running at fever pitch, speculation mounted as to how the New Zealanders would cope with the illustrious Blue Bulls. It would be their first meeting with several Springboks, among them fly half Nice Buerta. Buerta, the big match winner with the deadliest boot in world rugby, captain of the Blue Bulls, a one-time American gridiron trialist who'd regained his amateur status. The most controversial player in all South Africa, potentially the biggest factor between victory and defeat. It was to be a bitter battle, and referee Francie Miller would have his hands full.
Here they come. That's Andy Dalton in the front. Looks like Victor Simpson behind him. That's Victor Simpson. Loveridge, Shelford, that's Wayne Smith, Ashworth. And here comes Nice Buerta. Wait for the roar. It's going to be fullback Kieran Crowley to kick off. Lovely kick hanging in the air, taken by Louis Moorman. Look at those All Black forwards going bashing in there, but back to Nice Buerta. Difficult one, and well taken indeed. Mark called for, and Uli Schmidt coming up very quickly to the tackle, but it was Kieran Crowley who called for the mark and was given it, and quick one to himself, and flips it to his fly half Wayne Smith. Wayne Smith tackled, looking for support, but a penalty there for coming in the wrong side of the scrum there. Interesting, Louis Moorman in his first years for Northern Transvaal always stood the back of the line out. This time it looks as though Gary Wetton got it back. And a penalty there, and a little bit of argy-bargy there. Jan Locke and Cowboy Shaw. And it's Shaw who's penalised. Here is Nice Buerta with an opportunity to open the scrum. And is it curling in? Yes, it did. It curled in at the last minute. And the big crowd waiting expectantly. That is Billy Osborne with it now, and that could have been an intercept. Not a very good pass by Osborne. Picked up by Mike Clamp, and Clamp inside to Osborne again, and Kieran Crowley with it, and Mexted backing up. Mexted Shelford as well, trying to get it back. But the referee gives a penalty to Northern Transvaal, and the touch judge also put his flag out, pointing to Northern Transvaal side, and the referee will ask him why.
I will sort it out, all right? Okay.
Please. Flag out there. Shut up, critter.
It happened just before half-time. The teams waging a relentless struggle, neither prepared to give an inch. A line-out forms.
From the New Zealanders' try line. Andy Hayden going for it, helped by
The
Gary.
players emerged from the loose scrum. Andy Dalton giving chase with the Westers' Dave Loveridge breaks. From behind, the punch, a swinging right cross from Burger Geldenhuys, the most lethal blow in the game, from behind. The New Zealand skipper crumples to the deck and slowly gets to his knees. The referee signals, and the first aid men and Nice Buerta gather round to have a look. Referee Miller leaves the scene to consult with the touch judge. The name Burger is clearly mentioned. The punch that was to cause an outrage. Andy Hayden sees it, lunges after Geldenhuys and lashes out. Dalton departs, bitter realization on his face. The jaw broken in 2 places. A tour that lasted just 37 minutes.
Well, it happened so quickly I didn't really have time to realise what had happened. Now, with several weeks to reflect on it, obviously extremely disappointed not to be taking a bigger part in the tour. It's one of those silly things that sometimes happens in the game of rugby, punches out in the open like that. One of those silly things that should never happen. So, I'm pretty bitter about it now, I suppose. more through the frustration of not being able to play the rugby that I'd hoped to when I came over here. Obviously, many of us, including myself, have been looking forward to this tour for 3 years at least, particularly so with it being cancelled last year. We've had to work very hard to get here, and to only last 36, 37 minutes, that's pretty disappointing. I've been playing international rugby for something like 10 or 11 years and never been hit like that from behind. You know, obviously sometimes during the game tempers do get a little hot, and you do get the odd punch thrown, but normally people stand up to you. I think the disappointing thing about it was the fact that Berger carried on so much after the event. If he had just shut up, I think he possibly would have been forgotten, and would have been to his benefit too, but he seemed to be intent on speaking to the media about the whole issue, which I don't think did him any good. I've never spoken to the man myself, but...
Has he not spoken to you since?
I've never spoken to Berger, no.
Yes, what happened on Saturday, I mean, I was in the loose scrum and I received a blow, and then I retaliated, and it was in the heat of the moment. So the two teams were very highly motivated, and that sort of thing happens. I mean, I'm sorry his jaw was broken, but I mean, there was a lot of punches thrown and nothing, and no other jaws were broken, so it was just pure accident.
We were disappointed to lose our skipper. He had a big effect on the tour, even after his jaw was broken. I'm sure he would have had an even bigger effect had he been playing.
We wanted to get over the initial blow to the side and get the morale back up again.
The cry, "Ban Burger Geldenhuys," is trumpeted throughout the land. Danny Craven calls a joint meeting of his executive and disciplinary committees, and they instruct selectors at all levels not to consider players guilty of misconduct. Geldenhuys is given no formal hearing. His judge and jury, the television camera, and he is never officially punished. It is only much later, after he fails to make the Springbok team, that it becomes known that the rugby board would have vetoed his selection.
Can never be condoned or supported by the SARB.
From my point of view, he should have been given a suspension, and everyone in the sundry would know what the suspension is, and then once he's served that sentence, he's back ready to play again, not only for his club or his province, but also for the South African team.
So we have the replacement. Hika Reid has come on at hooker, and it is Northern Transvaal ball. Left for play in this half, only about 3 minutes of ordinary time. And the ball out here to Kunis coming into the line. And he left it available for Gippie Nel to kick it up, and Crowley is there inside his 22 as he's challenged there by Paul Boertes and Christo Spannenberg. That's Crowley. And Nas Buddha not kicking his up and unders as well as usual. He normally times them rather better. That's Victor Simpson, Gary Wetton, and Frank Shelford. This is good driving forward play. Mark Shaw, the last man with the ball. Loveridge back to Wayne Smith, and he's got a few guys with him this time. And out goes Victor Simpson, and there is Mike Clamp. Clamp will score, being chased by Buddha. Mike Clamp is going to score though, and Mike Clamp over for a lovely try. Try there by Mike Clamp. And that was better passing. They had the overlap. And Mike Clamp looking pretty pleased with himself. Murray Mexted at the back. Loveridge, a long one out to Smith, to Billy Osborne. And Shelford, at least Simpson, Victor Simpson, who had such a good game in the first match. Good ball back to Loveridge. Loveridge setting up his forwards. Mark Shaw, who's having a very good game indeed. Cowboy Shaw from Manawatu. And back it comes to Loveridge. Pass out there to Wayne Smith. He has Clamp with him, but he's tackled. Shelford doing good work. And it is all New Zealanders now. And they want the second phase ball. Loveridge going around the blind side. Hika Reid is there. Crichton is there. And Shaw
as Uli Schmidt punches Gary Wetton on the ground.
Keeping him away, but the ball already.
Referee Muller again consults his touch judge and returns to tell Schmidt, "I saw you punch."
Ja, is een punch, ja. Ik heb jou gezien staan, dan gaan we voor jou straf hiervoor. Of course he is. Nou, hij heeft de opener gestaan.
Well, it's Gary Wetton down again. And it was certainly superb control by the All Blacks, and we'll see it again.
Hicker Reid, number 21, going in there. There's Gary Wetton, number 5. There he picks it up. The referee, the touch judge has already got his flag up, so the ball must have been out before that came back to Gary Wetton.
Louis Moorman there, taking it cleanly for Northern Transvaal, out to Nas Botha. What will he do now? There's the grubber kicks through. In the way was Wayne Smith. And a loose ball. Northerns get it. Back to Uli Schmidt. Uli Schmidt flicking it out to Botha on the far side. But he's tackled, and the referee's giving a high tackle. Whistle.
Head high tackle by Mike Clamp. Well, I suppose, Chick, if ever Nas Botha has had a pressure kick, this is it. He's had them before. He had one in a test match against the British Lions in 1981, was it, Chick? I think from the touchline in Port Elizabeth in driving rain.
Yes.
This one.
Hush falls over the crowd as Botha takes aim. He connects, and the ball curls towards its target, only to find the near upright and rebound into play. The New Zealanders have won again by a single point. The man with the golden boot showing himself to be only human after all. And a brutal match is over.
1 minute. And the referee's looking at his watch.
And again, I don't think the guys realise how hard the South African players are, and they certainly realised during and after that game that these guys here are hard and they play for 80 minutes. And that was just another hard game and another one-pointer again. So, I think we got a lot out of that game, even though it wasn't a great spectacle of a game. It was a typical hard Northern Transvaal All Black encounter that I've been on, or played in twice before, and this one was no different. Nas Botha, it's amazing the amount of criticism that he gets through the media in particular. To us, he is a great player. He's been criticised because he kicks too much, and probably at times he may do, but he's got other gifts that we saw in that game and since. And he's a very gifted player. He's got a tremendous head on him. He not only can kick well, he can get himself out of trouble time and time again. It's obviously a part of the game over here that, the blocks on either side of the jumper supports a part of the effect that we think they lift. And there's no doubt about it. If a player goes up and stays up, he's got to be lifted. There's no doubt about that. But it seems to be an accepted part of the game here, where elsewhere in the world it isn't. And the referees referee as such. And it's something that we're just not used to at home. And
is that with South Africa not playing international rugby that often, there's not very much of a cross-pollination of ideas and how the different countries adapt to laws. Because we also, in South Africa, we play under how the laws are interpreted by our referees.
Persistent rumours that the players were paid big money were constantly denied. Almost to a man, every international player scoffs at an outdated amateur code. The thin line already crossed in Australia and France. Any benefits derived from this tour would not make these players more guilty than their predecessors.
What I think it's done is force the International Rugby Board to reassess its own position. The problems which have been created by the fact that for one reason or another, the All Blacks didn't come to South Africa last year, and the British Lions are not going this year. And the International Board members have tended to hide behind the climate of world opinion. What they've lost sight of the fact is that their players are determined to go to South Africa, either officially or unofficially, and I think that this tour will concentrate their minds wonderfully on the touring schedules for the future.
And how do you think will it influence them?
Well, because they know very well that if they don't organise tours to South Africa, and if they don't make sure that their players get there, then other people will take the players themselves. I travelled up from Sydney to Hong Kong, sitting next to Alan Jones, the Australian coach. And Alan made it very clear that the Australian players were determined to go to South Africa. Now, he said, if we as a union don't reflect their wishes, he said, we shall fail. He said, not only that, they will go under other auspices, and it's much better that they go under the official Australian Rugby Union auspices so that their tour can be controlled. He said, if we don't organise that tour, then sure as God made Kerry Packer, somebody else will.
It was nice having breakfast, a long breakfast with, let's say, the Australians who have been denied, the opportunity of coming here, and chatting to these great players, who went over and won the Grand Slam. But in themselves, they can't claim much because they haven't come to South Africa and beaten us here. And the Poidevins and the Slacks and the Toynemans and these guys chatting to you, and you yourself finding out their burning desire to come here and play against us.
Australia will follow, and I think you'll find France will follow straight after them. So it's a case of now saying, well, let's get some control over this, and let's have the IRB and our member unions at least recognise where we're coming from.
I think for a long time now that the players have thought that the administrators aren't administrating the game for them. They seem to be administrating the game for themselves, and let's face it, the game is about the player, and the people come to watch the players, and I think administrators have to look at administrating the game more for the players and providing more for the players and being more up to date. Yeah, I think up to that stage that would have to be probably our best all-round performance. Although it wasn't probably our top side or a top side, the guys performed extremely well, and they certainly played well up front, and the backs played well, and in fact Craig Green scoring 3 very good tries on the wing, which sort of spoke for itself.
A hat-trick from Craig Green and 19 points from the boot of Grant Fox.
And so is Murray Mexted. Murray Mexted wherever the ball is. Andrew Donald waiting for it, picked up by Ashworth. Over there to Craig Green. That's Craig Green on the wing. The man from Canterbury. Being chased by Jacarana. He dived over. Has he got his try? Yes, he has. A beautiful try there by Craig Green. And Ashworth getting the ball back. Donald out to Grant Fox. This is the man to Victor Simpson. Simpson looking for support. And there is Hicker Reid. And that's Grant Fox. Out there to Craig Green. And Craig Green going to the corner. He could score. Craig Green in again. Craig Green, a beautiful try. 2-4 try. There you can see there where the line-out is, midway between the Free State 22 and the halfway. And tap back to Christopher Herrera. Kasselman, difficult ball. It's not a knock-on. It went back to Helgard Muller. What'll he do now? Good chip into the box. Has it gone too far? Mike Clapp lets it bounce. And up goes Helgard Muller, tackles him, and out to Robbie Deans. Robbie Deans gets past Casper Wessels. And Craig Green with it. Craig Green, and it wasn't a knock forward. Craig Green's going to score. It's his 3rd try under the post. Craig Green, a lovely piece of opportunist work there by Craig Green. The ball was knocked forward by him. It was knocked backwards by one of the Free Staters, though that is Craig Green's 3rd try.
It was a win that lifted the tourist spirit as they continued to suffer in silence following the Dalton tragedy. There was a new zest to their preparation as they geared themselves for the next match against their hosts, Transvaal. Dalton, his jaw wired up, still motivated his men.
Well, it's another hard game in our eyes. Regardless of what we read in the paper, that it'll be one of the easier ones. We're expecting a very hard game, and certainly the teams that have come out against us, regarding us as a New Zealand team, obviously, they're trying very hard, and I'm sure that Transvaal will be doing exactly the same tomorrow.
Back to the Golden City and another training session in the hot Highveld sun. Canterbury hooker John Mills joined the team as a replacement for Dalton and was pressed into action the very next day. Jock Hobbs took a break and Andy Hayden was named as captain. Transvaal's new skipper, Jonny Breert, expressed total confidence that his men would come out on top. He said they had a plan. Johannesburg, the city of gold, home of the Ellis Park Super Stadium, and of a team that could no longer be underestimated. A side that included ace goal kicker Skalk Nordeer and a young flank forward named Val Bartman, who would later rise to greater heights, a man strangely not considered good enough for Transvaal earlier in the season. The referee that day would be Wynand Mans, a Springbok himself for the Tour of New Zealand in 1965.
Came back up to Johannesburg, the Transvaal game, to encounter with the referee.
Yeah, the Transvaal game was one of those games where I guess on every tour you have them, you have a bad one, a real bad one, and that game was one of them. I'm not taking anything away from the Transvaal team. They played extremely well. They played, one would call a 10-man game where Nordeer kicked a lot, but they won a lot of ball up front, especially at line-out time. And generally, I think they outplayed us. I know we had the opportunity to win the game maybe through kicking penalty goals, but one can't blame Robbie Deans for missing those. A kicker has his off day, and I guess that was his off day. But even though, if we had got those, I think we still might have been lucky to have won especially the way we played. We had problems with the referee. He was very intent on blowing everything up, and which didn't suit our game at all, and generally we weren't happy with him at all. He allowed quite a bit of lifting in the line, which we hadn't really accepted as being part of the game at that stage. But still, apart from that, I don't think on the day we were good enough.
Up and under it, Alan Wetton, tackled there by Val Bartman. Robbie Deans with it. This could be dangerous if Smith can open up. And then interception under the post by Kutsia. Try under the post by Dean Kutsia. With the All Blacks trying.
And that try putting Transvaal into a 24-9 lead with only 8 minutes remaining. Although the New Zealanders forged back gamely to score true wonderful tries by that man Craig Green, they'd left their efforts too late, suffering their first defeat by 24 points to 19. Transvaal's guts had won the day, and 20 points from the boot of Schalk Nordier helped a bit too.
The advantage are given for Kerry out to Green on the left. Craig Green watches beautiful running. He dodges past Valbach and inside again, and back it goes into Warwick Taylor. Warwick Taylor looking to pick up support. There is Wayne Smith there, taken by Hika Reid. Hika Reid to Shelford. A long one out here to Bryce Robbins on the right, but he cuts in. I think that was the wrong option perhaps, and that is Wayne Shelford with it. Shelford running, and out here to McDermott. There's Hika Reid. Hika Reid is tackled by Mark Faree, and still it goes on. Wayne Shelford with it, and McDowell going, and Shelford again. Now they'll want to set up the second phase. See Wetton is standing in the fly half position there. McDowell doing good work, trying to back it comes Loveridge, and a penalty will be given, but advantage is Bryce Robbins. Bryce Robbins trying to force his way back through there, and no advantage has the referee, and penalty for offside around the fringes of that ruck. What will they do? Well, they bash for the line, and that goes out to Shelford. Shelford held up a metre short. Andy Hayden is in there. Back to Hika Reid. Hika Reid trying to get over, but he's held up again. Back it comes. Loveridge dummying, going in the other way, and to Bryce Robbins. Robbins is held there. Transvaal in desperate defence, and it's all the All Blacks now. And Bryce Robbins in the thick of things, trying to get the ball back. Will it come back from this ruck? Referee waiting, looking to see if Transvaal are offside. Hika Reid with it. Back it goes to Wayne Smith. Out to Pokeri. A long one. This must be a try. Out there on the left to Craig Green. This is his 5th try of the tour. Craig Green.
Referee Wynand Muntz, accused of killing the game with 31 penalties, didn't endear himself to the New Zealanders, but it was only round 1 for him and his chief critic Andy Hayden.
Mr. Muntz called the 2 captains from the dressing shed, Yanni Brett and myself, and described how he was going to interpret the rules on the day and what he wanted us to do. And he said he wanted us to discipline our own teams while he carried on refereeing. And I thought that was a good attitude. But then he continued with a long spiel about how good he was. And I thought, well, we're in for trouble today. So that was the start of the incident. And when we got down to Western Province, there was an obvious negative reaction from us when we saw him on the touchline, and in the first 20 minutes there was an infringement against us that he'd picked up that was considerably far out in the field, and then later on in the game another one in which I was involved, and after the first one I said to Steve Stridham that I hope he didn't have any more influence on the game, because we weren't going to be staying around to let him rule the game, and so that's where it developed from.
Newlands, this time against Carl du Plessis and his Currie Cup champions Western Province.
Frank Shelford to Shaw, and Shaw has Gary Knight there. It's picked up Mexted. This is good, lovely forward play, and has a second face. Picked up again there. The All Blacks going in, charging forward, and Gary Knight looks like he's going to go and score. Gary Knight, I think it is, and it's a try given, definitely. And there's a good shove by the All Blacks. Donald back to Smith, Osborne, and Clapp was in the line. Victor Simpson takes it. Victor Simpson back there to Smith, and out to Crowley in the line. Bernie Fraser, there's the kick, keeping it in play. Mark Shaw is under it, so is Mike Clamp, and Shaw has it. Mark Shaw with it, and it's a try, a beautiful try there. Bernie Fraser's cross kick into the middle, and Mark Shaw in a perfect position. Mike Clamp was there too, but that's Mark Shaw who scored the try. Andrew Donald, Wayne Smith misses out a man to Simpson. Short one to Billy Osborne. Well tackled by Cupido though. And All Blacks grovelling for this ball. And Smith it is picking it up. He's like a loose forward. And good work there by Ashworth. And will they set up the second phase? Here it comes. Donald looking inside. And he's got Hicker Reid. Hicker Reid going for the line, held just short. And is it Andy Hayden bashing over? What has the referee given?
Yes, indeed. It's skipper Hayden notching the third try as the tourists rattle up a commanding 22-6 lead at half-time. Hayden, 35-year-old Auckland giant, the team's most experienced player with 41 caps, a man who made his international debut on the 1972 tour to Britain. Former Springbok centre Dave Stewart, assisting with the commentary, describes the try again.
Control again at that ruck. Donald gets caught. Maybe he should have given it a little earlier, but Hicker Reid goes well here. Watch him get caught just short of the line, and Hayden and Mark Shaw just take it across together. Who do we give the try to? Oh, it was Hayden.
Referee waiting for advantage, and advantage there is. Out it comes. That's Papa Knutzer, Cupido, Carlos Scholz in the line. A good tackle. There's Mike Clamp on the go. Mike Clamp and Papa Knutzer, and Mike Clamp has got it. He's got someone with him. He's got Wayne Smith, who's going to roll over as he wants to. A lovely try by Wayne Smith. Started by a Western Province mistake, and good work by Mike Clamp. That's Wayne Smith. Slow heel. Montes to Cupido. Cupido getting it well to Duplessis there, and Carlos Scholz, he could have let it go there too. Chip ahead, Crowley, plenty of time, keeping it in play. Picked up by Papa Knutzer, but Simpson is there to grab it for the All Blacks, and Shaw is there. But Schalk Burger going well for the Western Province side, and they're trying to push their way over. Crowd going mad on the far side, but the referee says no, wasn't a try. And there's a bit of a fisticuffs going on over there on the far side of the All Blacks. And that's Schalk Burger, his first really good catch of the match. And Bontes getting it out, Michael Duplessis, and coming in was Carlos Scholz, but he didn't catch the ball. Shelford cleaning up for the All Blacks, and Billy Osborne.
Referee Steve Stradham signals a halt as Hayden, on the distant touchline, challenges his old foe Wynand Muntz to tell him exactly what he thinks of him.
And over on the far side we have Mr. Wynand Muntz, who's come into action again. The referee of the other day, he's got his flag out parallel with the ground, saying that the All Blacks were guilty of some infringement under Law 26, and the referee going to consult the touch judge. He can overrule him, of course. He doesn't have to agree with him.
Meanwhile, Province lock Schalk Burger, looking to ease the tension, takes Murray Maxted aside for a quiet chat. Then in a sharp exchange with referee Stradham, Hayden threatens to take his team off the field.
What about as far as the touchline? It was reported that that Schalk Burger and Carl Duplessis managed to convince us that we shouldn't take the team off. I'd already said to the players, go along with it, we'll go to the touchline, we'll just make sure that these guys know we're serious. And so it was really no influence that the opposition had on us. It was our own decision. We were just making sure that we weren't going to be trifled with. We wanted to see the tour ruled in such a way, and refereeing ruled in such a way as that we knew it was honest.
Well, perhaps if they take some time with this penalty kick, everyone will calm down and cool down. In the meantime, the score remains 26 points to the All Blacks and 6 to Western Province. And the All Blacks have scored 4 tries by Gary Knight, Mark Shaw, Andy Hayden and Wayne Smith. Penalty 15 metres in from touch and about 8 metres behind the 22. And here's a good view we'll have of this one. And it looks as though it's straight and true, and it's another 3 points. And that's to Schalk Burger at the back of the line. That's a good one to Michael Duplessis. Into Schalk Burger again, and he's going to score himself. Schalk Burger will score. Schalk Burger, a lovely try.
A great try by Schalk Burger Jr., but it's the New Zealanders who get the rave notices with the first test just 3 days away. The tourists now give special attention to their forward play, needing no reminder of how hard it'll be against the Bok Giants. Andy Hayden is awarded the captaincy after Jock Hobbs loses his test place to crackerjack flanker Frank Shelford. Shelford completing the loose trio with Mark Shaw and Murray Maxted, the man who'd played a blinder against Western Province. Grant Fox is preferred to the experienced Wayne Smith. Veteran halfback Dave Loveridge losing out to Andy Donald. Lock Murray Pearce displacing Gary Wetton, and Victor Simpson clinching the centre berth. More scrumming as they gear themselves to do battle with men like Uli Schmidt, the new cap hooker. Giant Flippy van der Merwe, who toured New Zealand in 1981. Transvaal hero Val Bartman, the man to effectively replace Burger Geldenhuys. Tough lock Skalk Burger capped twice against England in 1984. Dependable Louis Moulman, South Africa's most experienced test player with 20 caps. And loose forwards Gert Smal and Jannie Breert. 2 of the 6 new caps in the Boks side. Another newcomer to Springbok ranks is Free State scrum half Christo Ferreira, a player whose service will mean a lot to the back line that carries so much potential, so many world-class players. Critics agree that to beat the New Zealanders will require much good ball for the likes of Dani Gerber and Karel du Plessis. The lineouts are important too, with Smart and Breert vital cogs at the back. As the Geldenhuys row continues, another controversy emerges, this time over sponsorship.
If we just take a look at our own jerseys, in South Africa we've all grown up to honour and love, the Springbok jersey. There's only one jersey, international jersey, to wear when you start playing rugby. And I must say, I think I'm carrying the feelings of the side here. When we first saw that jersey with that motor manufacturer's name on it, we all got quite a shock. And of course it didn't look like a Springbok jersey. We, the people who are actually carrying that message and taking it out, we're taking the bumps on the field, taking the knocks off the field, having to train and practice hard, and we've become the commercial identity. What are we going to get out of it in the future? With regard to that motor manufacturer, I don't think it's gone down very well with the side, because the way it was done and approached, and the players forced to do it without them basically getting any goodwill out of it, any positive, be it revenue, be it in kind, whatever. It has been a very contentious issue within the Springbok camp. I mean, just the other day, with horror, was reading what small little letters on Boris Becker's shirt was actually, what revenue he was getting for that.
So, if we can get something out of the game that we're looking for, I might give myself a couple more years, but I'll just play until I'm not enjoying it anymore, and then I'll pull out.
May the 10th, 1986. The day came in cold and wet, and the feeling was that Hayden and his men would be hard to beat on the lush Newlands turf. New Zealand teams of yesteryear had done well on this ground, and this side's fine victory over Western Province had further encouraged them. They also had a distinct edge in experience, boasting more than 200 test caps to the Springboks 78. Springbok hopes rested as always on the kicking form of their new captain Naas Botha. There was great interest as to how he would carry the mantle of international skipper, key playmaker and potential match winner. But to have a chance, the Springboks would have to control the forward exchanges.
And there you get the team. It's possible that Simpson and Taylor may have changed their numbers. Yes, I've just noticed that Victor Simpson is number 13 and Warwick Taylor is number 12. Otherwise, they're exactly as they are. The same pack of forwards who played so well against Western Province only on Tuesday. There is the Springbok team with a lot of new caps. Jacarina, Christo Ferreira, and of course all 3 loose forwards. Val Bartman, Gert Smal and Jannie Breert. And any moment from now we'll have the kickoff. Referee says, are you ready? There we go. Kieran Crowley, it was a kicked off. Under it, Louis Moulman tapped it back there to Christo Ferreira. And straight into touch. You're not going to hear the sounds from the referee today because the referee, Mr. Rowland, says it's a new concept, these field ears, and he doesn't feel that it's a good time to try them out in a big game like this. First line out, and there's Grant Fox. Good work on Murray Mexted in that line out. A difficult one for Naas Botha to take Craig Green, and Craig Green going to score. No, he hasn't. The touch judge's flag is up. That was very, very close, but the referee has said it was offside anyway. And he is asking the Springboks what they want. Do they want a penalty?
No, we started off terribly well. We had a planned move, and we didn't think Craig Green was off, was out, but or offside. But the referee thought he was offside, and the line umpire had him out anyway. So, but it was a good start for us to test.
But Naas Botha very quickly across in defence. So the first scrum of the match, and that's Christo Ferreira. And a penalty. And Naas Botha, it's quite interesting, Naas Botha taking place kick. He did that so often in New Zealand in 1981 because he does get more accuracy, and we've had a lot of rain overnight. The conditions, I think, are those that the All Blacks might almost have chosen. Heavy underfoot, it's very long grass, and I've just had a note passed at what Ken Rowland said in his typical Welsh accent. He said before wearing those field ears, I'll have to clear up my language first. I'm sure he didn't mean that, because he is a very fine referee, but it is quite an experiment having those field ears, as they call them. Penalty there for fringing, as they call it, coming around in the wrong side of the ruck there, following the line-up. Grant Fox to take it. And this is unusual, a quick one, doesn't go to hand, goes to Victor Simpson. Simpson has got Mark Shaw there, and there's the first ruck of the game. In goes Gary Knight, and back it comes to Grant Fox. Good work by Andy Donald. Kiernes under it. Johan Kiernes up and under. He'll have to put his forwards onside under Ashworth. Picked up by Murray Pearce. Good work by Cowboy Shaw there. Driving in over look at that rucking. That is the New Zealand style of play. Andy Donald waiting for it. Frank Shelford going in. Hicker Reid. And a penalty to the New Zealanders for preventing the ball coming out in that ruck.
Tremendous pressure on Grant Fox here, because I think a lot of his selection was due to his being such an accurate goal kicker. As a player, he and Wayne Smith, I would feel Wayne Smith probably has the edge on him.
Well, here's the important kick. It's got all the distance, and it's there, 3 points ahead after, there it is, 4 minutes gone, and the New Zealanders are leading by that penalty by Grant Fox. Willie Schmidt throwing in for the first time in a big match. Taken by Louis Moorman cleanly. Ferreira, nice Buerta. Is it a drop goal attempt? It was, but it's wide, very wide. Difficult one for Crowley, being chased up there. Crowley gets away with it. Managed to get his kick in. Jakob Reinach was there. Murray Mexted in to try and help Crowley. Andrew Donald. Now to Grant Fox. Missing out a man. Simpson with it. Misses out again. And to Green. Craig Green. And he beat him on the inside. Craig Green. Good cover defence though. Well, picked up by Donald over there. But Jakob Reinach with it. And Jakob Reinach, here's the flyer. Danny Breer tapping it. But Shelford with it. And Shaw. Mark Shaw chasing too. Look at that power. The guy from Manawatu. Out it comes to Fox. Taylor in a gap. This could be very dangerous indeed. He's got a man with him. He just couldn't get it to Mike Clamp. And here's the drive. Is it a try? They're trying to drive their way over. But the referee said there was a little knock on there. And the Springboks got out of jail there. It was a lovely break by Warwick Taylor. He had Mike Clamp with him. Hicker Reid hooking. And they've got the ball being held by Mexted. And it's left to Mexted. Warwick Taylor. That was a good little move with Donald going right without the ball, and a penalty for offside there. The ball was still in the scrum, and the Springbok loose forwards had broken up, and they were in front of the last line of feet. Well, this is rather like a half-metre putt. They're so easy, but you can miss them. Concentration. No mistake there. 6 points to 0. New Zealand is leading. Holding down in the lineouts. And now Buerta is going to try a long-range kick at goal. Well, he's pushed it, and it's short as well. Grant Fox under it. Grant Fox dodging a man, dodging Reinach. And ball kicked by Mike Clamp, by Green rather. And Kiernes with it. And Kiernes' kick charged down by Craig Green. In goes Flippy van der Merwe, and a penalty, I think. What will the referee say? Yeah, coming into the wrong side of the scrum. Penalty against Flippy van der Merwe there. And it's a long kick, it's a beautiful kick, and it's there, yes, a third in a row. 3 out of 3 from Grant Fox.
Grant Fox certainly justified his selection thus far, Chick.
Well, 3 out of 3 is a good record anywhere. Not a very good pass there. And here's the rain coming down. This could make a big difference to the game. Back for it is Mark Shaw. Left-footed kick. He hasn't found touch. He's found Christopher Ferreira. Ferreira has Nas Buddha with him, but gives it to Willie Smith. Willie Smith barging his way through. Flips it back to Ferreira. Nas Buddha. That is Duplessis. Out to Guinness in the line. Donny Gerber. Gerber well tackled by Simpson. Back to Michael Duplessis. Michael Duplessis back inside to Jacarina. And a good tackle by his opposite number, Green. And the Springboks very cross there. They thought there was an advantage, but the referee's whistle had gone.
Yes, and just looking at this first half, the first half an hour of play, I'd say that if there's an influence on the game is the fact that the Springboks haven't been able to control the ball often enough.
Well, this is a dangerous move with Donny Gerber in the gap. Gerber going through, but he's got the cover defence to deal with. Jannie Brett is there to help him. The Springboks will want this from second phase. Val Bartman is there, and Anton Barnard. But the referee says the ball will not emerge. One centre standing each side, and drop goal attempt. No, out to Michael Duplessis. There's Theunis in the line, but he runs into Andy Hayden and Simpson. Ball is loose back to the Springbok side. Michael Duplessis out to Nas Buerta, and a penalty for offside in that ruck. Well, Nas Buerta won't be short, and he's made no mistake, and it's 9-3. And I must say, Warwick Taylor has had a very good game indeed. He's an absolute tiger in defence. Christopher Ferreira, good one to Nas Buerta. And there's the drop goal attempt. I think it's there. Yes, a drop goal by Nas Buerta. The penalty for obstruction again. I think it's good that the referee is very strict on the line-outs. Because that is
I must say, Chick, it's been a very, very moderate, cool first half. You know, maybe the rain's dampened it a bit, but compared to that sort of fiery first half that we saw here on Tuesday.
And there is half-time. So at half-time, it is 9 points to the New Zealanders, 6 to the Springboks.
If we had to divide the game up, I would say that the first 20 minutes belong to the New Zealanders, but undoubtedly the second 20 minutes with the Springbok loose forwards coming into the game, Springboks looking a lot more confident.
And I think they know that they can do it now with the rain still coming down slightly. And there's the first ruck of the game, and Andrew Donald it was picking it up on the far side. Christopher Ferreira waiting for it. Out to Nas Buerta. There's a difficult up and under. Hasn't gone quite far enough forward. And it's allowed to bounce. Michael Duplessis picking it up. In there is Jannie Brett, Christopher Ferreira. Back to Nas Buerta. Here's a drop goal attempt coming. And wait for it. The referee's well positioned. It's there. It's a beautiful drop goal by Nas Buerta. And the scores are level. There's Ashworth with Hayden behind him. Gary Knight behind him. Where will it come? Louis Moorman tapping it back, but the referee says there's obstruction in the line out. Well, here is a chance for Nas Buerta. At the moment, the scores are level. 3 penalties to 2 drops and a penalty, 9-all. That's got all the distance, but wait for it. Is it straight? Yes, it is. And the Springboks are leading by 12 points to 9. Andrew Donald, another up and under. This will test Theunis. It's a difficult one. He gets man and ball at the same time. Jock Hobbs is up very quickly. Craig Green is in there too. And here's the drive. Here's the rolling ball. Can the Springboks stop it? Flippy van der Merwe is in there trying to use his bulk and his size and his weight. And the referee says that ball is dead. And it's the Springboks to put it in. Christopher Ferreira tripping there and caught in possession. Now this is very dangerous indeed. It's right on the Springbok line, and it was a knock forward. It was nasty knock on. Will they try a pushover scrum? Pushover try. There's the shove. They're holding it, and is offside. Offside. Bang in front of the post, and this will be an absolute gift penalty. The Springbok backs were well behind the last line of feet. They should have actually have been behind their own try line, and they were not. Here it is again. You see Christopher Ferreira, I thought he was completely, palpably offside, but the referee has decided that if that infringement had not taken place, a try would probably have resulted. So it's a penalty try, which something one doesn't often see in test matches, and that means that the New Zealanders are in the lead by 15 points to 12. It was converted by Grant Fox. There's the rain coming down. What a pity to get rain on such a pretty face. Gary Knight, but penalty for obstruction in the line out. And here's another opportunity for Narspoort. 15 metres in from touch. And that's a good one. It's all the way, and the scores are level. Yes, well, I think this is a time when territorial advantage is important, because if you're on the attack, it means the other side can't get a penalty over through the post. Saltberger under it, helped by Anton Barnard and Flippy van der Merwe. And Christopher Herrera calling for it. He says thank you. Back to Narspoort, being chased by Andrew Donald and Andy Hayden. Has he found touch? No, he's found Craig Green. And Green hoists it into the air. There's the up and under. Green putting his men on side. And under it was Michael du Plessis. But the referee has said that the New Zealanders were in that 10-metre area. They did not retire. They were within 10 metres of the man catching the ball. Narspoort with a penalty. And this, a bit of bad luck there for Kieran Crowley. He slipped and the greasy ball went out of his hands and into touch to put the Springboks right on the attack. You can hear the crowd in the background shouting, encouraging the Springboks. Narspoort with it. And there's the kick for the corner, being chased by Coral du Plessis. Crowley and du Plessis, who'll get there first. They both fly for it, and who's got it? It's a try to Coral du Plessis in the corner. A very good kick for the corner by Narspoort. There you see 16 test matches. There he is.
A very good line-out ball. And Christopher Herrera, Nas actually battles to control this. I have a feeling that he was looking for the drop and then realised he couldn't because he was covered and just popped it into the corner. And I think Clamp was also expecting the drop. But watch Coral du Plessis outpace Clamp here. Way ahead and gets to it first. Way ahead of Kieran Crowley.
And a difficult kick, but it's there. 39 minutes gone. And Donald back to Grant Fox. They want to keep it alive. Chipped it into the box there. Going back for it is Jannie Breed. Good defensive positional play. Picked up there by Christopher Herrera. Kicking for touch. And this is a difficult one for Craig Green. It bounced just in front of him. He tried to keep it in play, but it's out and a quick throw in. And that's dangerous by Donnie Gerber. And is that the final whistle? Yes, it's the final whistle. And the Springboks have won this game by 21 points to 15.
Yes, everyone, I think, thought that the conditions were favouring us, but in actual fact, we didn't like them at all. Even though we play under them a lot and we're used to them, we don't like that. We don't like playing in the wet. And on the day, I would concede that the South Africans played the better wet weather football. And whether you get the ball floating around, it becomes difficult to handle. They handled it extremely well. They picked up the loose ball. They cleared it better than we did, and generally played better than we did in wet conditions. As the game wore on, in particular, as it got wetter and wetter, they played better and better, and they kept pressurising us, and that pressure always tells in the end. And that try right at the end was sheer pressure, and that was the winning of the game.
With time fast running out, the Boks needed a miracle. They got it for sure through some slick play from Moolman, Botha and du Plessis. It was one of those classic tries that dreams are made of. Botha's kick showing rare genius.
Well, the try was only scored a matter of half a metre away from the corner flag. But still, I think a very well executed kick, there's no doubt about that.
One down in the series, the New Zealanders moved on to steamy Durban to prepare for the second test. But before that, they would face Natal in a match that was to grab front-page headlines. Former Springboks fly-half Keith Oxley described the fighting as the worst he'd seen, and referee Steve Stradham was widely criticised for standing by.
I think probably one or two minor incidents were inflated considerably. I don't think either team should ever join a fracas like that in numbers as they did. And it was probably an unfortunate 5 or 10 minutes of the tour. One journalist counted 64 punches. I don't know how accurate that would be, but I would say that there were obviously a few incidents there that were not good for the tour, not good for rugby. but a very minor part of the tour in terms of the total number of a dozen games played, 5 or 10 minutes of rugby, and probably, as a tour goes, a very, very incident-free, clean tour.
Well, a very hard match right from the beginning until the end. I feel like guys didn't give up, and when they got right on top, we managed to come back, but they certainly deserved the win, and hats off to them, they played very well for it.
Let's talk about those first 10 minutes. What happened?
Well, I think both sides are keyed up, us being a B-section side, probably knowing that we had nothing going for us as far as support was concerned from the outside people, and that nobody really gave us a chance, and everyone said, well, they should win, and we knew that. But we certainly weren't going to go there and just stand back. And what happened certainly wasn't planned. But with it happening, it just happened, and we retaliated or they retaliated. I don't know which side it came from.
We very much needed tonight's win because, of course, of the loss on Saturday. We needed to get the tour back on a winning note. So, you know, we're happy to have won. You know, we're not happy with all that was happened out on the field, and but there were some good tries scored. But a so-so effort.
Those first 10 minutes were pretty fiery. Would you like to comment on that?
Well, not really, other than to say it was a very tense start. I think both sides were very tense. Both sides wanted to play well, do well, and to win.
A lot of criticism was put on Steve Stratham because of his control, but I think at times like that, a referee cannot control that situation. That just blew up out of his control. There's no way he could have stopped that. I guess the incidents that happened later on could have been stopped if he'd sent a player off from each side, but obviously didn't want to do that. But I think it was overexposed. I know the first incident was an ugly one, which no one likes in the game of rugby, or in any sport for that matter. But I think after they settled down, there was some good rugby played in it.
That tainted 37-24 win now behind them, the New Zealanders were back on the training paddock for the second test. So too were the Springboks, who were to field an unchanged team after their first test triumph. The New Zealand team showed 3 changes from Newlands: Jock Hobbs returning as captain, Gary Whetton replacing Murray Pearce, and Dave Loveridge in for Andy Donald.
It's a very important game for us, one we need to win.
Do you think you can do it?
Well, we wouldn't be playing if we didn't. We don't underestimate our task, though.
Ross Botha, your problem?
I think we've got 15 men who are our problem.
According to Botha, the test will be much harder and more aggressive than Newlands. He expresses surprise at how tame his opponents were last time out.
Didn't see the first test, but I really think they'll win it tomorrow.
How much of a factor do you think Ross Botha would be?
Well, he, of course, could be the stumbling block. If there's any man that can beat the All Blacks, it will be him.
I said it's a very hard encounter. The Springboks have certainly got away to a great start. Any team that gets one up in this series is really sitting in the box seat. Interesting to see how the Cavaliers have been written off, and I'm sure that they'll fight back and they'll play very well tomorrow.
A hot and windy day dawns at the seaside paradise. 42,000 people will forego the pleasures of the beach today and stream towards Kings Park Stadium. The New Zealanders are confident they have selected their best possible team, and they know that defeat in this test will cost them the series. The surface at Kings Park is firm and true, adding to South Africa's confidence that their potent backline will win the day. Botha announces that he'll do his best to run the ball, and he admits that this test series is the most important of his career. Victory for the Springboks would mean the other rugby-playing countries clamouring for a crack at the box. Much, of course, will depend on his kicking duel with Grant Fox, but there is quiet confidence in the Springbok camp. The new grandstand is filled to capacity, a swirling wind in the cauldron.
As you see, only a couple of changes. Loveridge has come in at halfback, and in the forwards, Jock Hobbs, who's captaining his side, has come in place of Frank Shelford. Jock Hobbs and Gary Whetton, with his Auckland teammate Andy Hayden, they'll be the 2 locks, so a very powerful side. I was saying the weather is a little bit humid, and the ground very different from Cape Town conditions. It's hard, firm underfoot, well covered with grass. There's the South African side, unchanged from the last game in Cape Town. Ross Botha, the captain again, and he will be hoping to keep up his average of having scored nearly 12 points in every test match he's played. With me, the former Transvaal and Junior Springbok 5/8. Hugh Bladen. Hugh all set for a tense, exciting game, I think.
This Jock Hobbs. It'll be interesting to see just how they prepare. Well, you can just see how serious they are, Chick.
Laurie Mixer, there's Mark Shaw. Grant Fox, there's Hika Reid. It's Gary Knight. Warwick Taylor with his hand bandaged up. There's Craig Green. Referee in bright red shirt. There are the Springboks. Unusual with the two badges, one advertising a motor company and the Springbok on the left breast. Dani Gerber. Carl Dupuis, that's Hughes, the last one out. And the big shot as they're now all on the fields. There's Jock Hobbs. The referee says, "Are you ready?" And it looks like the Springboks have won the toss and decided to play against the wind. And there's a good kick out taken by Skalberger. In goes Andy Hayden. And coming away with it for Bartman. And here's the first real ruck of the game. And it's pretty tense. A long pass there. Nice Buerta. And will that put him right for the game? Yes, he's found touch. He made certain that he got his touch. And to throw in is Uli Schmidt. And that's good possession. Taken back in by Mark Shaw. And a penalty. Penalty to the All Blacks. And a bit of altercation there between Flippy van der Merwe and Mark Shaw. Yes, he was just lifted high up there. And it's got all the distance. Wait for it. Is it straight? It's a beautiful kick. And the New Zealanders are leading by 3 points to 0. That very important penalty kick by Grant Fox. And that'll put him right for the game. And so far, it has been all around the halfway line. Nice Buerta. Under it is Gary Wetton. Another furious ruck out. Michael du Plessis, it was a good mark there by Kieran Crowley. Marked under a lot of pressure from that. Not a bad up and under by Michael du Plessis, who appeared in the first 5/8 position. That's an interesting one right down the field there, using the wind. Back for it is Christo Ferreira, but nice Buerta to the rescue. And he's challenged by Warwick Taylor. This could be a try. Warwick Taylor going, will the ball go into touch? Yes, he's got it. He's got his try. And that was a bad mistake. Nice Buerta having his kick charge on. There's Warwick Taylor, and he will be delighted with that quick bit of thinking, following up, charging down the kick, and a wonderful thing for his side. Right. I think it'll be the New Zealanders' idea to play the whole of this half certainly in their opponent's half of the field. And Craig Green almost caught napping. Yes, he was caught napping really. He tried to desperately to knock it back into play, but it was already out. So quick thinking by Nice Buerta then.
Well, quite interesting. I've never seen that before. He actually dropped the ball out of his hands, re-caught it, and then took the quick one on the open side.
And here's a penalty for obstruction in the line out. This time to the Springboks, and Nice Buerta indicates he's going to go for the posts. No, he's kicked it high, and there it's holding up in the wind and swirling away. Grant Fox, and very quickly up onto was Carl du Plessis, trying to see if he couldn't perhaps charge the kick down. But I think Nice Buerta will have learned a lot by that kick there.
Well, I think the other thing is interesting, at Kings Park, there's a huge gap in the right-hand corner of the field, and the wind howls through there.
And the referee again being very strict in the line-out, saying that that was obstruction. And interesting, from halfway, what's now putting on to do? He's going to try an even longer kick. Let's see what he does now. He's kept that a little bit lower and hits the upright and back into play. Grabbed there by Gary Wetton. And Gary Wetton tackled by Carl du Plessis. Just managed to get his kick in.
5-man line out for the Springboks.
And advantage to Uli Schmidt. Referee says there was no advantage, and they must go back to where the original knock forward occurred. Hika Reid knocking the ball on, and they'll scrum. Christo Ferreira. Swinging scrum there. Nice Buerta
That is Donny Gerber with it now. Donny Gerber in a gap, and this could be very dangerous. He's got Carl Lieberstein with him, and decides to go himself inside to Gert Small. There's Val Bartman there, and I think it was Christophe Herrera pulled down, change of direction, long one out to Yakarana. Now here's the fast man, he's the fastest guy, probably on the field, going for the corner. Will he make it? No, just short. And in there is Yanni Breert to try and see if he can't get over there, but referee right on the spot. And this line out on the New Zealanders' 22-metre line. Hika Reid. Tap back by Moorman. Christopher Herrera out to misses out Naas Botha. And a penalty. The referee was waiting for advantage. A penalty to the Springboks.
Well, moving away from the line of touch before the line out was over.
And Naas Botha, has he got it? Yes, all the way. And 7 points to 3 it is. Hika Reid. He's got Andy Hayden at 2. He's got Wetton at 4. Next hit at the back. Beautiful work to Hayden. Hayden driving, helped by Ashworth. Loveridge to Grant Fox. Taylor. Simpson in the gap. They back it to Warwick Taylor. Good work by Jock Hobbs there. And the Springboks trying to get in there. Will the All Blacks get the second phase possession? No, the referee says that ball is dead. And Springbok ball. But that was very good work there by Warwick Taylor. 7 points to 3. New Zealand is leading. Christopher Herrera. Naas Botha. Good chip. And well taken by Simpson. Pat Small is up there to try and get it back. And a penalty to the Springboks.
Will he succeed?
Yes, he has. And it's 7-6. And it's amazing. The Springboks were on the attack a moment ago. And now look where they are. They're about 18 metres from their own line. Yanni Breert tapping it back. Next head through very quickly. And here's second phase for the New Zealanders. Fox, Warwick Taylor, there's Simpson. Simpson tackled. And Mark Shaw, I think it was, doing great work. And Fox with it. Fox, and is he getting through? Just tremendous defence. Naas Botha in there, helping to stop the tide. And the referee says that ball is dead. But this is a very dangerous situation with the New Zealanders very close to the Springbok line, and it'll be there put in. 28 minutes gone in the first half. Slow heel. Will they try a shove over? Next head going in the blind side, just held up short, and it's a try given. Next head was pulled down, but
Mark Shaw
it is.
And Mexted, you can see Murray Mexted lying there. He's claiming the try. Mark Shaw was the support. But that was very good build-up by the New Zealanders. They had a lot of men on the right, had the overlap. Watch, here's the scrum. We'll see it from the end, so that we on the open side couldn't see it that easily. Good scrum, outpox Gary Knight, but they still managed to control it. The drive coming from Mexted. And there is just his momentum taking him over, and the referee, as you can say, well positioned.
And wait for it. Yes, it's all the way, and it's a goal. You have 29 minutes gone, and New Zealand is leading by a goal, a try, and a penalty to the 2 penalties of the Springboks. Springboks will want to get a shove on this hard ground. Held by Yanni Breert. Ferreira to Botha. This is the other man to Gerber. Little chip ahead. Jan Heunis is there as well. Craig Green, but knocked it forward. And Warwick Taylor in an offside position. What's the referee going to give? Will he give the knock-on first or the penalty?
No, he's given the penalty, and quite rightly so too. Craig Green was in an offside position. The ball was played by a New Zealander, went forward, and Craig Green in an offside position.
He said it well. It's swinging to the left, though. Yeah, it's there. Very well judged in the wind. I think Naas Botha aimed for the left-hand post, and over it went inside the right-hand post.
South Africa will be playing with the wind in the second half.
Yeah, 13-9 it is. Less than a minute to go. And lifting in the line out, the referee says. That's the first penalty we've had for that. There's Jock Hobbs, number 7, talking to the referee. And Grant Fox indicating that he is going to kick it goal. 13-9.
Can he make it 16-9? That's the Springbok 10-meter line he's kicking from. And it's not going to be short. Wait for it. And off the post and in. 16 points to 9. And he will be delighted. The New Zealanders will be absolutely delighted. A 7-point lead. So there is the halftime whistle, and at halftime the New Zealanders are leading by a goal, 2 penalties and a try for their 16 points to 3 penalties by the Springboks. And there is an indication of this win. Naspers kicking it right over the dead ball line. Grant Fox. And that's a lovely high kick under it is Louis Moorman. Andy Hayden was up there too, and it's picked up by Gert Small over on the far side. And a lot of people watching in their shirt sleeves in this almost summery weather. It's always a bit warmer in Durban than the rest of the country. And there was Loveridge under a bit of pressure. And taken by Uli Schmidt away from him. Gerber out to Michael du Plessis, and there's Uli Schmidt again. And trying to pick up somebody. Uli Schmidt still with it. Back it comes Ferreira to Naspers. And he's trying to run himself into a good position. Donny Gerber, and there is a slip we've seen so often with him. Who's he got with him? Second phase again. Out to Michael du Plessis. Changing direction. There's Uli Schmidt again. He's like a centre 3/4 at the moment. Giving it there to Anton Barnard. Carl du Plessis taking it from him. Back to Ferreira. And Ferreira did well to get that one away. Naspers, Michael du Plessis, and that's Jannie Brett in the line. Kiernes, they got a man over. Gerber going through the gap. And he's got Reinach outside him, but he went that step too far.
Well, must be a penalty for a high tackle. Must be.
Yeah, the referee on the spot. That certainly looked like a stiff-arm tackle there.
Well, you can see Donny Gerber down on the ground as he slipped inside, and the referee having a very, very stern word to Murray Mexted there. Now watch here we go. Bang, Murray Mexted. Difficult when a person slips inside you. Not easy to stop a person in that situation, and almost one would say conceding the penalty in favour of a try.
And he's missed the kick, he's missed the penalty, has Naspers, and so the score remains what it was. 16 points to the New Zealanders, 9 to the Springboks, and we've had 7.5 minutes here in the second half of this match.
Well, you can see Naspers just talking to himself there, very upset with maybe his concentration, his follow through not quite going through properly.
Grant Fox, Andre de Skalkberger. So was Gary Wetton though, and the tap back goes rolling into touch there. See Murray Mexted right at the back of the lineup there. Louis Moorman took that beautifully. Naspers with it, and there's a drop goal attempt. Where is it? The referee's well positioned, but this time it's past the post again. So that's 2 drop goals that Naspers has missed so far. Christopher Ferreira. That's the New Zealanders 10-meter line being held by Jannie Brett. Brett picking it up, and Jock Hobbs with an attacking fall. Grant Fox with it. Grant Fox dumbing his way, looking for support on the inside. Andy Hayden getting stuck in there with another super attacking fall. And here's second phase coming, and offside against Anton Barnard. The Springbok loose head prop, palpably offside there. Remember, you've got to be behind the last line of feet in a ruck like that. Been successful with 3 so far. And it's got the distance, I think. Yeah, it is a lovely kick, a beautiful kick against the wind by Grant Fox. And 19 points to 9. New Zealand ball. Good shove there, back to Fox. And that's not a bad up and under, eventually. And within that 10-meter area, offside, the referee says. And this is a better kick from Naspers. That's it. That's 3 points. Here's a 4-man line out. And well done by Jannie Brett. Buerta. Out to Michael du Plessis. There's Karel in the line. And Donny Gerber. And Jaco Reinach, Gerber inside him. Jaco Reinach, the flyer, and he's still going. Managed to shovel it in. Mexted was there. Very good play by the number 8 forward in defence. And there's a tremendous ruck. The ball being shovelled up. Very good defensive work by Murray Mexted, who was there just at the moment critique. Good tap back. Good work by Christopher Herrera, and well taken by Naasbuurter. And Kunis coming in. Well tackled by Victor Simpson. And a kick ahead by Loveridge. Going back for Jannie Brett. Good fall by Jannie Brett. And tackled by Victor Simpson. Well laid back. Michael du Plessis out to Naasbuurter. Donny Gerber. Donny Gerber is going to cut inside. Yes, he has. He beat Gary Knight. He's got Reinach with him. And Reinach. Mike Clamp coming across. Reinach from the core. All the way. Craig Green going for him. And a try given underneath the post. There's Jaco Reinach, the flyer. A lovely piece of work by Donny Gerber and Naasbuurter.
Firstly, here we see again Buerta, then Buerta. Now watch for the little dance. See the little jink there, beautiful. Inside, Gary Knight won't be too happy with that situation. Perfect time of the pass, and it's over to the athlete.
And while you are watching that, Naasbuurter has converted the try, and so it is 19 points to the New Zealanders, 17 to the Springboks. Loveridge. Back to Fox, and Fox being chased there by Christopher Herrera. Hasn't found his touch. Coral du Plessis back for it. Difficult ball over his shoulder, and they're running it. Naasbuurter, not a good pass though. And Naasbuurter running his way out of trouble there. And Donny Gerber got Reinach on the outside of him. Had a good tackle there by Mike Clamp. And there's David Loveridge. All the experience of 33 tests behind him. And on the stopwatch, 39.5 minutes. But there will be quite a few minutes of additional time. There will be quite a number of stoppages in the second half. Ball well taken by Skalkberger. Andy Hayden is there to try and stop it coming back. Uli Schmidt and Naasbuurter with it. Taking it from Ferreira. And up and under. Under it is Gary Knight. Helped there by Ashworth and kicking it ahead, chasing it to Uli Schmidt and Naasbuurter, and coming across. Warwick Taylor did very well to fly hack the ball out to touch, and the referee indicating to Mr. Frank McMullen where it went out, 1 metre away from the New Zealanders' try. This is do or die for the Springboks. It's their throw.
Well, this is where you have to have possession. All the New Zealanders on the try, beautifully taken by Moorman.
Out to Naasbuurter, and here's the drop goal attempt, and has he done it? No, it's missed. Naasbuurter's hit the pole. And going for it there is Ashworth, and John Ashworth kicks it as far as he can possibly kick it. And what's it going to be?
It's a 22 dropout. That is just amazing. Naasbuurter right in front of the poles, and it actually hit the upright.
And Kieran Crowley with a quick dropout. Jan Kunis trying a very long-range drop, but he's going to be to the right, and it's going to go over the dead ball line. And there is the final whistle, and the New Zealanders have won this test match by a solitary point, 19 points to 18. They led 16-9 at half-time. They've won by a goal, 3 penalties and a try to the Springboks, 1 goal and 4 penalties. The try scorers for the New Zealanders, Warwick Taylor and Murray Mexted in the first half, and for the Springboks, Jaco Reinach. Penalty kicks and conversion by Naasbuurter, 4 penalties and a conversion, and for the New Zealanders 3 penalties and a conversion by Grant Fox. So the New Zealanders have won, I think we can put it this way, by 2 tries to 1, and to that extent let us give them all credit. They deserved their victory. They scored the 2 tries. The Springboks replied with 1. The Springboks had a bit of bad luck, missing a few penalties. There is Jock Hobbs, absolutely exhausted, but he must be delighted as well. There's big Gary Wetton going in there. Naasbuurter hit the penalty, the upright twice, but Grant Fox hit it once. Naasbuurter missed a few more penalties than he's wont to do, but Hugh Bladen 2 tries to 1 and 1 point victory for the New Zealand.
Yeah, to be honest, I first made a mistake on the Friday. I didn't go out to Kings Park to practice. I usually like to go out on a Friday and practice, and then it gives you self-confidence. But going out on the Saturday, trying the first one against the wind, the wind just blowing it back to you, trying the second one hitting the upright, trying a drop goal, the wind's just blowing it back to you. I think in a way, it got to me, and I think at the end I made a couple, but I missed a couple that was really important to us, and we could have won the game easily if I just made 2 or 3. On the other hand, we had a lot of bad luck. We hit the upright 3 times, especially the last drop goal. Okay, it was a difficult angle, but usually, I can kick it with my eyes closed.
I think it was basically on the day. Grant Fox kicked terribly, a lot better than what Nas did. Nas had opportunities to score points, and it was a swirling sort of a wind, and, Grant probably judged it a little better than Nas did on the day. But we considered ourselves quite lucky to get away with that final drop kick of Nas's that, just missed the post and let us off the hook. But, it was truly a great game, and one that kept our chances very much alive.
Looking back, the man who inspired his team to victory.
Well, it was an absolutely critical test for us, for our own credibility. We obviously came here under circumstances which everybody's aware of. To have gone 2-0 down in the test series meant we obviously couldn't win it, and we're looking at a whitewash. So for our own credibility, we just had to win it. It's a very, very important game. All test matches are important, but I think there was just that much extra on this because we had to maintain our credibility that we were here to win and to perform well.
When he wiped the odd tear from his eye, obviously said it all. I think just prior to the end of the game when Nas Porter had that drop-it goal, I think Jock actually got his fingers to the ball and deflected the ball closer to the post than what it was actually going, I think. And I guess that might have had something to do with it, the relief that he wouldn't have been blamed for helping the ball on its way. But no, I think his reaction was mainly one of extreme delight. The wins against South Africa don't come very often here, and I guess that said it all.
Well, that, of course, is a matter only time will tell whether it's going to affect world rugby. I don't think, and I have said publicly in New Zealand since my appointment, I don't think the rugby union wins out of these episodes. I don't think the players win. So therefore, we must make sure that there are not too many of these things take place which are going to affect the great game which we all love.
Each big rugby union, they've got paid officials looking after the game because it's become big money. And I mean, they've got managers, they've got secretaries, they've got marketing officials. They've stayed with the game. They're all living out of the game because the game's revenue is so big. If you take the player, he's still playing as it was in 1900. And under those laws, archaic as they may be, he's being forced to do it. And what's worrying the players is that so many other things in the world is basically changing and changing very fast. And the communication channels that we've got with the union officials and administrators is that we are never going to change ever in our lives. So somewhere you can just think that the player has got some form of rebelliousness within him. Because, number one, the administrators, being as old as what they are, trying to keep the game as what it was when they played it, they just can't satisfy the players' needs.
For a rugby team to come here and tour South Africa at this present time, there's been some great perks for the players in the sense of gifts and that sort of thing.
But surely players receive handouts elsewhere. Does Colin Meads believe it's worse in this country?
No worse than a lot of countries, but those are the things that the people seem to worry about. And as far as we're concerned, the players have been treated terribly, terribly well by the South African people, by the unions that we've played against, and it's been quite fabulous. But as far as calling it a professional side goes, I think we've got to draw the line there and say quite strongly that it's not a professional team. I'm one that believes that the international players should be perhaps get more recompense per player on tours such as this and international tours, in the fact that they're giving up so much to come and make these tours that they've got to look at being able to give them more in their hand and help out with the situation not only here but for them back home and their work and their families and whatever it may be.
I guess it's the system that puts me off. It seems to take a guy at least 20 years from after you stop playing to becoming an administrator at the higher level, and that certainly gives me no ambition to go further in administration or even for coaching for that matter, because they both go hand in hand. The same thing applies.
Back to Ellis Park, and a rousing display from the New Zealanders in this floodlit match. They score 6 tries to 2, with Wayne Shelford and Bernie Fraser grabbing 2 apiece.
Could be a try here. Shelford going for the line. Frank Shelford this time. Loose ball. And here, this could be a try. I think it is. It was good work. And I think that's the The big lock forward, Pierce. Well, tap back. Now it goes to Russell Roux from Troy. Up to Frans Wessels. He's got Helgat Muller there. Helgat Muller trying out to Hendrik Creer. Can he get over? Creer going for the line. Did he lose it? Did he get it? Wait, what will the referee say? Yeah, he's given the try.
Well, he waited for the touch judge to run round, and I think he was quite right in giving it to Hendrik Creer, because you've got to put the ball down on the ground, and that one he put down so hard. We'll watch it again. Beautifully played by Richard Croy. Watch how he takes this ball and gets it away quickly. Good running by Russell Roux. He runs just out of the way of the loose forwards. Then Frans Wessels makes the half gap. Beautiful running by Helgat Muller. Now he's got quite a lot of work to do here, Hendrik Creer. And watch how he goes down and bang!
The referee in this match, the former All Black Frank McMullen.
Eddie Donald waiting for it. Where will it go? For a drop kick? No. Out to the left. Waynes with a good chip ahead. This could be a try by Bernie Fraser. No, just too fast for him. It just beat him into touch. It's Wayne Smith, number 10. Wayne Smith has played well on this tour, as has Billy Osborne. And this is a very good position for them. They're within a metre of their opponent's line. There's T.S. next to big Rudy Versace. Where will they throw it? It's an 8-man line-out. No, 7-man line-out. Frank Shelford back amongst the backs. And that, I think, is going to be a try. Is it Murray Pierce? I think... No, it was Wayne Shelford. Wayne Shelford, that's his second try, and he scored 2 against Natal.
At halfback for the Barbarians, the Western Province League's Richard Croy and his provincial partner Russell Roux at fly half. Centre Helgat Muller of Free State has an outside chance for Springbok selection, and Natal fullback Hugh Rees-Edwards emerges as chief understudy for Johan Hirnes.
Muller missing out a man. That's the fullback in the line, Rees-Edwards. He's broken clear. But Kali Hrabla with him. Good kick ahead. Chased by Bernie Fraser. Fraser gets there first. And there's going to be a try by Rees-Edwards, I think. Tried to pass it inside. That's Alan Wetton again with the ball at the back of the line out. Very good position. Wayne Smith, dummy, there's the scissors. Bryce Robbins going through. That's the 22-metre line of the Barbars. Their second phase, beautiful, blind side. And a chip into the box, being chased by Robbie Deans. Coming across well was Frans Wessels, but there's a loose ball. This is a very dangerous situation, could be a try. And it is, yeah, Zealanders are so quick on this loose ball. And Wayne Shelford again. Well, that's incredible. That is Wayne Shelford's third try. He scored 2 against Natal. John Mills, deep throw in. Tapped back by Wetton to Andy Donald. Wayne Smith. And good kick through by Pokeri. Difficult one there for the fullback, Rees-Edwards. Be able to keep it in play. Akhtari with it. And down it goes to Frans Wessels, and that's Kali Hrabla on the far side with it. Kali Hrabla getting round his man. He's as strong as can be, keeping the ball in play. Under it, Robbie Deans, and just a little bit too far ahead. Hasn't found touch. Found Russell Roux. It's a good pass by Russell Roux. Hugh Rees-Edwards is there. Being chased there by Helgat Muller. Will it bounce kindly for him? He's got one man to beat. And inside it goes to Rees-Edwards, who will score. Lovely try by Hugh Rees-Edwards there, and lovely handling. That was real barbarian stuff, Hugh. New Zealand is on the attack. The referee wanting that metre between the forwards in the line-out. Deep one, well tapped back there by Wetton. Good second phase. Out it goes. Wayne Smith. Billy Osborne looking for the inside pass, but there's no one there. Back to Donald. Andy Donald pulled into the ruck. Might have to get out to get his pass away. That's good second phase again. And Wayne Smith, Osborne, Pokeri, Deans, and that's Bryce Robbins. He's got to get the corner. Will he go for the corner? He's cutting in. Well tackled by Frans Wessels. And this could be very dangerous again. And Shelford, Frank Shelford going over with a try. Well tapped back by Wayne Shelford. Billy Osborne looking for the inside gap and nearly getting through it. On the halfway line. And blindside, Bryce Robbins out to Wayne Smith. Got Bernie Fraser there. Bernie Fraser's been chased by Rogers, and Bernie Fraser again. He's going to score all the way. Bernie Fraser goes over as he likes there. And a very good situation for the Zealanders, but it is a barbarian ball. Picked up by Geldenhuis, And once again, Wayne Shelford in a very dangerous position. Just, that is the try line there. This could be a try. Andy Donald out to Fraser. Is Bernie Fraser in? I think he is. It's a second try. Yep. And the referee gives a penalty there for offside. Rudy Versace, the big man from the Free State. There he goes. And giving it to JP Geldenhuys. Barbar's over the 22-meter line. Russell Root taking the ball very well there, giving out to Wessels. Wessels out to Kali Grobler. Grobler with a very strong man with a handoff. And Russell Root, number 10, trying to get it back to the Barbarians. Just Rogers is there too. But Alan Wetton going in. Helped there by Steve McDowell. And All Blacks getting the ruck. Long one there by Wayne Smith. And the referee blows for full time.
The New Zealanders complete their biggest victory on tour with a controlled display in all phases. Fullback Robbie Deans produces an immaculate goal-kicking effort by converting all 6 tries and goaling 2 penalties, a personal tally of 18 points.
We know, I think you know, that as long as you're on the winning side, everyone wants to beat you. But as soon as you're getting on the losing side, they don't want to come out to South Africa. And it's important for us, because if we can beat them and New Zealand go next year and win the World Cup, then I don't know who's the world beaters.
To Pretoria, where preparations begin with a vengeance for the crucial 3rd test at Loftus-Versfeld. This time the Springbok team shows 3 changes. Eastern Province scrum half Garth White replaces the out-of-touch Christo Ferreira, and a shake-up in the front row where Northern Transvaal pocket battleship Frans Erasmus oust Anton Barnard. And Transvaal's Piet Creer takes over from Flippy van der Merwe. The New Zealanders are surprised at Flippy's axing, but Creer is to rise to the occasion. The New Zealand selectors appear to have some doubts about their midfield combination, but they finally decide to go with Taylor and Simpson. So Jock Hobbs will lead an unchanged team into battle. At training, the New Zealanders show clearly that they plan to run the box off their feet. It is in marked contrast to South African strategy, which is now placing great emphasis on heavyweight scrumming techniques. They do not want a repeat of Durban, where they were swung about badly. Skipper Hobbs knows there'll be problems.
We've had some problems adjusting, I would say, from a win on Saturday. Of course, it elevates everybody, and it's difficult to come down quickly to prepare again for what's going to be a very, very hard 3rd test. So we've had to concentrate on trying to get back to that desperate sort of attitude that we had for the 2nd test, and hopefully this morning it took a step further.
Well, it's going to be very interesting, I believe, after last Saturday. You know, the series is 1-1 now, and I think they'll definitely go out and try to win tomorrow, but I think we've got a surprise for them. You know, I think they played fairly well in the 2nd test and we didn't. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, but I believe that we can win this one.
Well, we've got to get more ball. We just haven't got enough ball on the tour, and particularly in the 2 tests. So we'll be concentrating on our line-out play. We've done a lot of work on our line-out play this week. We'll be concentrating on trying to play the game in their half, because, of course, any penalties in our half can cost us points. So we want to play the game there, and then we want to attack them. Obviously, they're going to have new caps, and if anyone remembers their first test, it's a daunting prospect. So we want to put as much pressure, and in particular on the halfback.
Personally, I've got a very high regard for Jock's ability, and I'm sure that he'll be doing his best leading the team and playing-wise. Obviously, going into the 3rd test, this is the test that decides the series, and at 1-1 we've achieved nothing of what we came over here to do. We've got to win tomorrow to make it a success, and a lot of us have put a lot on the line to come here. It's very important that we succeed and have good results to go home with.
So we went to the ground, and then to our amazement, the Springboks were also training there. So it became an interesting duel at that stage. Our initial reaction was that we were not going to back off, that we had in fact arranged to be there and we were going to train there. So we proceeded on that basis, and then it just looked like it was going to turn into an absolute shambles. So then we've tried to turn it around to our own advantage, saying, right, we'll go and train somewhere else and we'll remember.
Yes, another episode in the Cold War on the eve of the Crunch Test. Both teams turning up for practice at the same time at Loftus-Versfeld, a situation that is seen as a deliberately cunning double date. In the end, the Springboks get their way. The test pitch is theirs, and Hobbs takes his men to another paddock to complete their training. The 24th of May 1986, Loftus is jammed to capacity as the Battle of the Giants goes into round 3, the most important one of all. The tension is mirrored on the faces of the players as they emerge from the dressing room tunnel, their date with destiny now upon them. How can they ever know what the final 10 minutes of this test match will bring? For the third successive test, the referee is Ken Rowlands of Wales, a man who stands for no trouble. Many South African fans question the wisdom of Garth Wright's selection, reasoning that he may crack under pressure on his international debut. Remember too that Naas Botha is now promising a 15-man onslaught, the running game everyone wants to see. As the drama unfolds, it'll become apparent how Garth Wright will react when the heat is on. And what of Botha? At Durban he missed 11 kicks at goal, with a lot of bad luck thrown in. Today he is back in Blue Bowls country, on the ground that made him famous, before a crowd that adores him.
And there they are. Has it gone 10 metres? Yes, it has. And Skalkberger, it is with the ball in his hands. Frans Erasmus getting straight in there from the beginning. And Uli Schmidt. And Garth Wright. That's a good pass to Naas Botha. And there's a very good up and under. It's going to land inside the 22-metre area. And it hit the ground. Good work there by Loveridge to get it back to Crowley. And the touch judge there is Mr. Frank McMullen from New Zealand. Uli Schmidt. And the referee giving a penalty to the Springboks for obstruction. "15 metres in from touch. And he hit it well, and 3 points on the board for South Africa. And
that's a penalty for offside in the line-out to New Zealand.
And Grant Fox indicating he's going to kick for the post. And it's looking good. Wait for the flags. Yes, 3-3 it is. And a pretty fair reflection of the play so far. And running up there was All Blacks couldn't quite grab it. Garth Wright with it. Good work by Frans Erasmus there. Michael du Plessis out to Gerber. And Donnie Gerber testing one for Crowley. Will the ball beat him into touch? Yes, a beautiful kick. It's for the Springboks right onto the attack. That's Donnie Gerber. Hika Reed's throw. Well, Bartman going back to decided that Hobbs was in the line-out, so back he comes. Well taken there. Well, Bartman it was. And well done. Good possession. Garth Wright looking for a gap. And who's he got with him? Naas Botha, du Plessis, and Kunis in the line there. And a penalty there to the Springboks.
Playing the ball on the ground. Here we see it again. Uli Schmidt on the charge. Now watches the ball come out. Michael du Plessis just a little bit undecided as he gets possession. Just waiting for the players to run into position. There goes Kunis. Now watch, there's a good tackle from Victor Simpson. And meanwhile, Naas Botha has kicked the goal. Short line out by the New Zealanders.
And that is Murray Mexted at the back, tapping back. Loveridge out to Fox. Fox gives it there to Shaw. And Mark Shaw barging his way and showing his power. And will they get second? They've got second phase. Out there, Fox. He's got Clamp with him. Mike Clamp. And he's keeping it. A nice cross kick there. Donnie Gerber going back for it. But he will save the situation. Jock Hobbs is up, number 7. But
Loveridge breaks blind, the victim of a late shoulder charge by Uli Schmidt.
Well, Dave Loveridge is out cold, absolutely cold. You can see on the left-hand side of the screen there, the physiotherapist on the New Zealand side hurtled onto the field, and Dave Loveridge has hardly moved since he got a bit of a smack as he gave that pass out.
The fiery Schmidt is widely condemned for his action, but, unlike the Burger Geldenhuys affair, there is no conclusive proof of intent. The Springboks claim that Loveridge was concussed when his head struck another South African forward's knee as he went down. The New Zealanders are still angry and upset. Off the bench comes substitute Andy Donald, a man who's to take over admirably from his stricken teammate.
And Loveridge obviously very groggy.
One wonders whether Dave Loveridge wants to leave the field, but now Dr. Laurie Knight has been on, and he has certified, told the referee, yes, the referee wants the doctor to tell him, and there is the signal from the doctor to the referee that Loveridge is not fit to continue. So we have Andrew Donald coming onto the field, number 20 on his back.
Well,
he played in the first test, and he's a very good player indeed. And that substitution came after 14 minutes. And that was an interesting little move there with the ball going out to Jacka Reinach. And with it, that's Craig Green. Craig Green inside to Hobbs, but it was intercepted. And the Springboks have got possession. Asbuerta running his way out of trouble. Johnny Gerber. And from inside his 22, he was tackled there by, and I think that's a late tackle. I think that was definitely Victor Simpson who went into Donny Gerber after he had kicked the ball. The referee has given the penalty. The choice would have been to have it where the tackle occurred, or if it went out to touch 15 yards or meters in from where it went out. So Nasbuert, here it is. Here it is again.
Yes, we see it again, and watch now, Donny Gerber just in with a kick, and well, again, Victor Simpson probably committed to the tackle. Just shortly after that, they had a little bit of a tussle, but the referee decided on the late tackle.
I think he could have taken a bit of the venom out of the tackle, perhaps. Anyway, Nasbuert from about 3 meters inside his own half of the field. I think it's pushed to the right. No, just past the post. Kieran Crowley with plenty of time. 22 dropout.
Interesting to see the touch judge, Frank McMullen, obviously a lot of experience, pinned himself up against the pole until Kieran Crowley had decided what to do.
Grant Fox. And that's a nice hanging ball to let Hobbs get up there, and the rest of the New Zealanders. Mark Shaw. What a powerful chap he is. And here's second phase. Andrew Donald. There it goes to Warwick Taylor. Simpson has it. Crowley in the line, but a good kick ahead. But taken by Yanni Brett.
Well, that's tit for tat. Donny Gerber just late tackled Victor Simpson, and they both stood there wagging fingers at each other. And there's a contest. Well, the referee just calling your two together and saying, just cool down a little bit. Well, that's quite right.
And you see, he made them shake hands. And the crowd rather enjoyed that. But I still think a very stupid thing for Donny Gerber. He's a chap with a lot of experience.
Well, we'll see it again, here again, going through the hands of Warwick Taylor. Simpson just deciding on the kick. And again, those decisions are so marginal.
And it's got all the distance. Is it straight? Wait for it. Yes, it's there. 6-all. Nasbuert getting his forwards well behind the kick. That's another nice hanging ball. Gary Wetton, number 5, waiting for it. And look at that support. Mexted in to help him straight away. And Andy Donald waiting for it. But sure, it is still going. And he's tackled by Uli Schmidt. Andy Donald running into trouble. And Garth Wright after Donny Gerber. And Gerber decides this is not a time to run. And he was still in his 22-meter area, but he hasn't found touch. And Jacka Reinach up there. Jacka Reinach trying to grab the ball, but Crowley holding on. And a torrid loose scrum there. Back to Simpson. Victor Simpson running with it out to Clamp. And Mike Clamp's in the open there. He's being chased by Buerta. Nasbuerta, Mike Clamp. And Mike Clamp forced out to touch there. Nasbuerta is a very quick chap over the ground. And I think he was always keeping on the inside shoulder of Mike Clamp. And 4 men from either side. And that looked like he had Small taking it. Out to Nasbuerta. There's not an easy up and under. Gary Knight's under it, so's Andy Hayden. Coming up, Michael Duplessis very quickly. He was the man who picked it up. William Ullman with it now. Here's a drive. Skalkberger. Now they'll want to get it back, but what happened? Is it carried over?
5-meter
yes.
scrum, carried over.
Carried over, and he was actually kicked the ball out in touch in goal. And this is the best chance the Springboks have had in this match to score, 5 metres away from their opponent's line. And it's there put in. Garth Wright, Naaspoorter. Will he do a drop kick? No. Out it goes. Missing out a man. There's Reinach. And he cuts in. But he desperation tackle. Brought him down. Jock Hobbs is there. Picked it up very well. And Andrew Donald kicking it out. Very good work by Jock Hobbs covering there. And Jacko Reinach so nearly away. Burger number 4. That was Schalk Burger who went up for it. Jannie Breert going in. Garth Wright, Naaspoorter. And misses out. And Naaspoorter in the gap. Looking inside. And that's Val Bartman over the 22-metre line. They'll want second phase. And they've got it. Change direction. Donnie Gerber. Gerber out there. Too small. And Small has Reinach. Reinach well tackled by the cover defence there. But it's still in. No, the referee's flag is up. And Donnie Gerber very cross indeed. He thought that the ball was still in play. Uli Schmidt taken by Small at the back of the line out. Right to Botha. Missing out a man. Michael du Plessis. And that's Kiernes. Karel du Plessis. But did the ball go forward? No, it didn't. Val Bartman. No support. And he's rolled over. Still got it. And Jannie Breert going in, trying to get the ball back for the Springboks. Furious ruck there. And a Springbok ball.
Well, good support from the Springbok number 6, Val Bartman. Came in at the right. The ball had gone all the way to the wing. There he is.
And that is the New Zealanders' 22-metre line. Cleverly held in the back.
Naaspoorter with a drop here.
Oh, not a very good pass there by Michael du Plessis. Reinach had to go back to get it and flip reverse pass. Another long one. Karel du Plessis. Can he beat the man? He's been chased by Wetton. And Hickory is going for him. Inside 2. Uli Schmidt. Uli Schmidt is going to score. Uli Schmidt has scored.
Sometimes villain, sometimes hero. It's that man Uli Schmidt again. This time with a touch of class that has him swerving inside between Gary Knight and the sprawling Mike Clamp. A try that has his hometown crowd delirious.
Well, here we see it. A bit of indecisive play by the Springbok backs. Jacko Reinach gets it in a bad position. There he is now. Watch, he changes direction quite cleverly, actually. Johan Hiernes. The long ball out to Karel du Plessis. Watch how he just straightens up Gary Wetton. Hickory comes across for the tackle. Lovely little pass in from Uli Schmidt. Uli Schmidt is very good on the run. And a wonderful try by the Springbok hooker.
And while you are watching that replay, the try has been converted by Naaspoorter. And it is 12 points to 6. Donald out there to Fox. A short one in there to Greg Green. They've practiced that time and again. And second phase. Here's Fox again. They could have a man over here. Fox looking on the inside though. Tackled just inside the Springbok 22. And here's Mark Shaw going for it. And Uli Schmidt it was who tackled him. And a penalty. Who is it to? It is to the All Blacks. So Fox, can he make it 12 points to 9? 12-6 it is at the moment. And we're already in injury time. We've had 41 minutes on the stopwatch. Grant Fox. Yeah, it's there all the way. That's Grant Fox's third penalty. And 12 points to 9 the score. Frans Erasmus on this side going down against Gary Knight. Andrew Donald reversing direction, but he's tackled. And Murray Mexted in there to help, and they shoveled it out really to Crowley. Crowley hasn't found touch, he's found Naaspoorter. And Naaspoorter over the head of Crowley this time. Awkward bouncing ball. And Crowley with all the time in the world. And the referee says that is half-time, and so at half-time it's the Springboks leading by a goal and 2 penalties to the 3 penalties of the New Zealanders. Now we're about to have the second half, and we're on, and there we are. Has it gone 10 metres? Yes, Andy Hayden tapped to Gary Wetton has it now, and Andy Donald says, let's have it. Hickory, I think, has grabbed it, but a Springbok hand or 2 is around it. In goes Hickory again, and good work by Gary Knight. Andrew Donald with it. To Jock Hobbs, the captain. Here's the drive, and they'll want second phase. Beautiful second phase. Fox, Taylor, and a lovely break by Taylor. Tackled by Naaspoorter, but inside there, Simpson, and that's over the 22-metre line. Andy Donald, and they could have a man over here. Crowley in the line. Crowley cutting back, though. Gary Knight helping, and reverse direction. That is Taylor. That is Craig Green. Craig Green. And the Springboks defence at 6s and 7s at the moment. Second phase again. Andrew Donald. And that is Fox. The long pass out there to fullback Crowley. And Crowley has scored. Crowley is in. And that was beautiful rugby with second phase coming back and again. The Springbok defence all over the place. And with that beautiful loose ruck ball, here it is.
Well, this is a combination of a couple of rucks, and Grant Fox reading the situation very well. The long pass over to Kieran Crowley. Kieran Crowley taking it above his head very well, and he goes into score. But some certainly little weak defence by the Springboks enabled them to the New Zealanders to cross the advantage line. Here we see it again. Fox with the overhead pass. Crowley taking it very well indeed. No defence in sight at this stage. They'd all been committed.
Grant Fox has kicked pretty well so far. It's a difficult angle. And wait for it. Yes, it's there. A beautiful conversion from about as difficult a place as you can get. And Grant Fox will be delighted about that. There is Val Bartman. Murray Mexted at the back. In front of him, Gary Wetton. Skalkberger with the band around his head. And a short one. Tapped back by Ashworth to Donald, and Jacko Reinach with it into Nasbuerta, and Nasbuerta keeping it in play. Murray Mexted is there, and Nasbuerta with it, and he's going to score. Nasbuerta's going to score. A lovely piece of work by the fly half. A slightly lucky bounce perhaps, but handsome is as handsome does, and it is 4 more points to the Springboks.
The Golden Boy's first try in Test rugby, coming in his 20th international appearance. He certainly picks his moment to prove that kicking is not his only art.
Well, here we see it again, the pass from Jacko Reinach. A lot of people would have shouted run, pass, but Nas with a little chip ahead. Now watch for the very good offensive tackle from Johan Heunis. Yeah, there's Heunis storming down on Murray Mexted. Great tackle by him. The bounce straight into the little fly half's hands, and he is very quick over 22 metres. I think I'm right in saying that that is Nas's first try in Test match rugby.
And there's the second round of applause. While you were watching, Nasbuerta converted his own try, and so that is the score. The Springboks leading by 2 goals and 2 penalties to 1 goal and 3 penalties by the New Zealanders, and the
New Zealand forwards in front of the kick. Certainly has.
Waiting for it, Andy Donald, Fox, long one out of Simpson. Simpson there, and out it is for Craig Green. He's a danger man, a real danger man, but good tackling there. Kev Small coming across, and Heunis. That's Craig Green.
New Zealand ball.
Oh, back it goes. That's a good line-out ball there. And there go the forwards trying to get it back again. Andrew Donald says he wants it. Tremendous ruck and back. Here's a drop goal attempt by Fox. Charged down. Who'll get this loose ball now? Mexted is in the thick of it. And so is Skalkberger. And Andrew Donald has it. Fox out to Warwick Taylor. Simpson. Crowley's in the line. He misses out to Craig Green. Green and Reinach. And Reinach managed to get his head in the way of that kick. And I think it went off his shoulder or his head into touch. That's Andy Hayden. Interesting, they're standing next to each other. Normally we have Gary Knight in between. And good tap back. Here's a drop goal attempt again, and this looks a good one. And it's there, it's all the way, and the scores are level. The referee in a very good position to see, and the scores are level. For the New Zealand's 1 goal, 1 drop, and 3 penalties. And that is Frans Erasmus, helped by Jannie Breert. And Val Bartman, Garth Wright, Michael Duplessis in the first 5/8 position. And that's a good up and under, and I think it went off Reinach's head. Uli Schmidt taking it. And Val Bartman carrying on. Good drive by Mulman is there, and they'll want it from second phase. And a penalty there for coming in the wrong side of the scrum. It was coming out of the Springbok side. Here's the penalty, and it's there. And the Springboks have a lead of 3 points. Nine minutes to go. Frans Erasmus with it. John Ashworth tackling him, number 1. And good work by Bartman. Not a great pass, but well taken by Nasbuerta. Out to Gerba. And is he going to, and there's Michael du Plessis out on the left of Carl du Plessis, cutting inside Fox, and he's got Gerber with him, and Gerber's going to score his 14th try in Test rugby. Craig Green won't catch him. Donnie Gerber, and that could well wrap it up for the Springboks.
Well, watch this, a bad pass from Garth Wright. Naaspoort is summing up the situation very well. Passed it out to Donnie Gerber. Donnie Gerber on the run through the hands of Michael du Plessis, then to the great left wing. Watch how he goes now. He just shakes his hips, darts inside Grant Fox. Watch the running off the ball by Donnie Gerber. Brilliant on the outside. He still had quite a lot of work to do. Craig Green, now watch the acceleration as he sees Craig Green coming on. He is big, he is quick, there's no stopping him in that situation.
And Andy Donald's perhaps their last chance. Out it goes there, Victor Simpson. And they want second phase now, if ever they did, but Scott Burgert is who picked it up. Andy Donald with it. They got the second phase. Fox. And Grant Fox knocked it forward. Still the referee waits for advantage, and he says there is advantage. Donnie Gerber with it, out to Reinach. Reinach the flyer, he's got Gerber with him as well, and he's going to score, I think. Reinach, Jaco Reinach, and he's over. We're having the conversion kick, and it's all the way.
The flags are up, the test is over. South Africa scoring 15 points in those fateful final 10 minutes. 33-18, the most points the New Zealand team has ever conceded in an international. It is one of the most sensational finishes to a test match, and the Springboks can no longer lose the series. South Africa has won by a margin of 4 tries to 1, with Gerber and Reinach hammering in the last 2 nails with runs that set the pulses racing. Naaspoort, struggling to mask his emotions, has contributed no fewer than 21 points. In 3 tests, now his tally is an amazing 52, far and away a new South African record. And it was his touchdown during the second half that provided the spark to ignite the final Springbok onslaught. New Zealand played far better than the scoreline suggests, but they failed to last the pace in a white-hot finish. For Garth Wright, it was a dream debut.
I think after last week, we said the luck was against us, and I think today we proved that I think we're the better side, and I think we proved that last week also we've been the better side, but we couldn't pull it off. But today I'm very glad we pulled it off.
What a wonderful match. Tough luck, whoever lost, it was tough luck on such a team. And all credit to the Cavaliers for the show they put up.
We tend to fade in the last 10 minutes. We don't seem to have that resolve that we've had in the first 20 minutes in particular of most of our games. And I guess in that game we just let it go. And the Springboks are a side that, given a chance, they take it. They've got very fast backs, and Gerber and du Plessis in particular. And you give them a chance, and they take it, and that's what happened.
And what about that controversial late tackle by Uli Schmidt on Dave Loveridge?
Well, it was one of those things that you don't really see it because it was drastically late. The ball was well out with the next player when it happened, and it's one of those terribly unfortunate things that happened. Perhaps I think Smith was lucky that it was so late that the referee or the line umpire didn't even see it, and they kept following the play too. But it was an unfortunate thing, because Dave's a very great player, and as everyone knows, he's coming to the end of his career, and I think this has probably just brought it forward that little bit more.
We haven't been over happy with his refereeing. I guess he's been consistent, but we're not very happy with some of his interpretations, especially around the ruck and maul. Prior to the third test, he hadn't really got on top of the lifting and the line-out, but in that third test, obviously, he got the message through to the Springboks, and there was no lifting at all in that third test. But we just feel that at times he's likely to make a decision on the spur of the moment, which really, I think, probably unsettles the players. Although, again, I say he's consistent, but he's blown the whistle a lot, which a lot of the players at times can't understand why, and it's had the upsetting effect. But I wouldn't go as far as saying that he's been responsible for any of our losses.
And so for the final provincial match, a good crowd watching their team stage a spirited comeback. After leading 19-3 at half-time, the New Zealanders finally won 26-18, scoring 3 tries to 2. Bryce Robbins, normally a winger, acquitted himself well as stand-in half-back for the injured regulars. Fly half Wayne Smith had a wonderful match to force his way back into the Test team. Captain that night, Wayne Shelford.
Glad that, we've won this one, because possibly it could be the last game for most of this team, and we've finished on a win, and that's what we're really concerned about.
Well, obviously the side's been picked for the way we want to play it. Wayne Smith there, obviously we'd like the ball to be moved out a little bit quicker, and hopefully playing it the way we want to play it, we can put more pressure on the Springboks and hopefully don't rely on the kicking abilities of Robbie Deans to win the game for us. So, Grant Fox has kept us in the games with penalties from around the halfway. I don't think we really expect Robbie Deans to have a success rate like Grant Fox has had. So that's obviously one of the reasons why Wayne Smith's here, that we want to play it so we can put more pressure on the Springboks and spend more time in their half and hopefully score tries rather than relying on Grant Fox's beat to keep us in the game.
See, we can't even think about a draw in this series. We've got to win this 1-3-1. And I feel sorry for them, but we need to win it because that will keep us in competition. And looking at the World Cup next year, even if the team that win it, they've got to come out and beat us, because if we can beat New Zealand, and I rate New Zealand #1 for that World Cup, then they've got to come back because, they've beat everyone except South Africa. And I think the best is, is to include South Africa in it. And then if you get a final and we're in the final, and whoever wins, then you can call it a World Cup. But as long as we're out of the World Cup and winning this series, then I don't think there's a World Cup. You can't even call it a World Cup.
Back to the city where it all started, Johannesburg, and the countdown begins for the final chapter. It is right in the heart of this thriving metropolis, under the shadow of the soaring skyscrapers, that the 4th and final test in this dramatic saga will be contested. For both teams, there is a special reason for winning this one. For the Springboks, the chance to take the series, and for the New Zealanders, a desire to share the spoils. That desire is intensified by the knowledge that it will be easier facing the music back home if they can at least say, the Springboks never beat us. It is far away from the special attractions of the Golden City that the New Zealanders and South Africans are plotting strategy for the ultimate showdown. Their pot of gold, a mythical one known in the game as the World Rugby Crown. So it is back again to that Super Bowl at Ellis Park, a stadium that was sold out a week in advance, a giant coliseum that will seat 70,000 people on the day, a thriving mass of sporting humanity. The Springbok team is unchanged, but the New Zealanders have shuffled their cards. Deans is at fullback for Crowley, Smith replacing ace goal kicker Grant Fox at fly half, Andy Donald the only halfback available, Steve McDowell ousting veteran John Ashworth, and another regular Mark Shaw giving way to line-out specialist Alan Whetton. The tourists are hoping that Deans will not leave his kicking form in the change room, and that Smith's selection ahead of Fox will have broader benefits. The expectant crowd now awaits the Springboks' appearance. Erasmus, Schmidt, Krier, Skalkberger, Moolman, Bartman, Schmal, Wright, Michael du Plessis, Gerber, Reinach, Karel du Plessis, Hiernes. These are the men who will soon link forces with Naas Botha and his vice-captain Jannie Breed in their quest to prove to the world that South African rugby is still strong enough to conquer the men in black. Referee Ken Rowlands is equaling a world record by officiating his 4th successive international. He also announces that he will retire after this match. The New Zealanders have left their biggest surprise for last. For the first and last time on tour, they perform the traditional pre-match haka. A wonderful gesture by individuals, yet still Kiwis, that draws feverish applause from the huge crowd and fills the most hardened rugby supporter with emotion. The formalities are over, the battle lines are drawn. As the Highveld sun blazes down on Ellis Park, the climax approaches in the never-to-be-forgotten Battle of the Giants.
The ball hang. Well taken. Here's the All Black power. Gary Knight going in there, big number 3.
That penalty given for the Springboks coming in on the wrong side of that maul.
Anyway, here we go. Very important kick. It's hanging nicely. Wait for it. Yes, it's there. 3 points to 0. The New Zealanders are in the lead. So they've taken the lead in the same manner as they've had in the other tests. 7 minutes gone. And the penalty by Robbie Deans. Important kick to get ahead. And Hayden in the thick of it there, tapping it back. Mika Reid waiting for it. But Springboks with it. Val Bartman. Help by Jannie Breert. Gert Small is there too. And there's a bit of a fist fight. By golly, that really was. Gary Knight was in there. And the referee calling the two of them. Gary Knight, there seemed to be a real fist fight between the two of them. And the last blow struck by a guy in a green jersey.
Well, that's Gert Small there. And Gary Knight, I think, got quite a smart smack there.
Very difficult to decide.
It looks like the referee has actually told him to go and cool off.
Well, now that's something I have never seen before. Has he sent them off you? He must have sent them off the field.
I can't understand. They've gone off the field.
And they know there is no cooler system in South African rugby. In our lower grades of rugby, we have a cooler, and the player can be sent behind the posts to stay there and cool off. But it looks very much as if they've both been actually sent off the field. Anyway, play's going on, and that was Warwick Taylor who kicked that ball, being chased by Johan Kiernes, and it's a very good kick indeed. Willie Schmidt to throw in. Taken by Louis Moolman. Garth Wright, nice Buerta. And there's another up and under. That must have been practiced. Robbie Deans in a difficult situation just outside his own 22, but well taken there. All Blacks getting in, and a penalty to the Springboks for killing that ball, preventing it coming out of that loose ruck.
Well, Jock Hobbs obviously not too happy about that, but I think just getting the explanation from the referee and the All Blacks, the New Zealanders going over the top of that ruck.
And I think it was Alan Wetton who was the man who took the ball and hung on to it. And asked Buerta with a very straightforward penalty. Hang in front and about 25 metres out. And that is 3 points all. Danny Hayden getting ready for the jump. Mika Reid to throw in. And back in the line now. Once again, it was Alan Wetton. Very good jump. Donald to Smith. And there's Smith giving the Springboks a bit of their own medicine. Good up and under. Warwick Taylor's right up there. Taken by Mexted. And Mexted's very close to scoring. Just hauled down a few metres short. In goes Hickory to try and get the second phase ball. And the penalty to the New Zealanders against the Springboks for preventing that ball coming out of that ruck for the 6-3 score. And there it is. 16 minutes gone, and it is 1 penalty to the Springboks, 2 penalties to the New Zealanders. But it is the Springboks to throw in, and now they will know where the ball is going to land, and the New Zealanders, not knowing the code signs, will have to guess. William Moolman trying to tap it back. And second phase up. Goes to down the line. Gerber. Jacob Reinach. He's got Kiernes there with him. Kiernes is outside him. And on the inside there is a couple of Springboks. Kiernes a long pass out there to Donny Gerber. What will he do now? The kick ahead. I think it's gone too far. Murray Mexted is there. And all the time in the world for Murray Mexted to dot it down. Well, I think perhaps Donny might have passed there. He had Gert Small just next to him. But a quick drop out. Difficult one for Johan Kiernes. Into Naas Buerta. And is this a long-range drop goal? It's a long, long kick. Wait for it.
and up against the uprights. Ball still in play. And Piet Creer tried to pick it up. Gert Smal tried to pick it up, but it was Hickory who got it in his hands first. Erasmus going in. And Erasmus, good work by him. Naas Botha. Michael du Plessis. Carlo du Plessis in the gap. This could be a try. Back inside the Kunis who blocked it. Bad luck picked up there by Mike Clamp. And to help is Alan Wetton, number 6. And the New Zealanders are going to win the ruck. Andrew Donald back to Wayne Smith. And they're opening it up. That's Victor Simpson. And he's got Craig Green there. Ball being chased by Warwick Taylor and Kunis, but the ball wins the race. And Andrew Donald, Wayne Smith, Craig Green. He's the man who scored 5 tries on this tour. Second phase to Andrew Donald. Wayne Smith, a long pass. Victor Simpson cutting in back into the forwards, as he so often does. But they're well inside the Springbok 22. And here's Smith with it again. He had Craig Green with him. And a chip into the corner puts them right on the attack. Springbok forwards only 4 metres back, and the New Zealander forwards must be 10 metres back. You don't have to go back. And here's a very dangerous situation here. A scramble with 1 metre from there. Andrew Donald's going to score, I think. Andrew Donald is over. Andrew Donald. That was a bad mistake by the Springboks.
Here we see it again. Donald's seen it very well. Look for the referee right down on his knees, perfectly positioned.
Now can Robbie Deans convert this? He's kicked well so far. Kicked 2 out of 2. And this is hooked past the post. So it is 2 penalties and a try for 10 points to New Zealanders, to the solitary penalty for the Springboks. So we have 8 minutes left in this half, and the Springboks down by 3 points to 10. And under it, Alan Wetton's had a great game for the New Zealanders, while Bartman going in and Hickory coming away with it. Jock Hobbs, and out there to Victor Simpson. That's Craig Green with it now. And Craig Green slipping past the tackle there. Craig Green in the gap. Naas Botha has him. And back inside there to Alan Wetton. They're 15 metres away. Now second phase, if they can get it. Yes, they've got it. Out to Smith. Smith looking for the gap. He's got Clamp outside him. But that's Robbie Deans. Robbie Deans caught about 12 metres short. And the next ruck, they get it again. Out there on the right, this is Mike Clamp. Mike Clamp from Wellington. And look at that ruck. They want to get it a third time, but 2 quick second phases in succession and lovely running. That certainly was 15-man rugby. Referee indicating he wants that half-metre gap in the line-out. Andrew Donald, Wayne Smith and Warwick Taylor, well tackled there near the halfway line. Can the Springboks get second phase? Yes, they do. And coming through very quickly was Hika Reid, Naas Botha, Frans Erasmus in the line. And he's a very strong young man. And away with it. Good work by Uli Schmidt there. Naas Botha. Could be a man over here. Kunis going into this. And has he got Gerber with him? No, intercept by Craig Green. Gert Smal tackling Craig Green. That's out it goes. Good pass by Michael du Plessis to his brother Carl on the halfway line, but they're running into trouble. Andy Hayden is there. Uli Schmidt with it. And the referee has said offside. It's behind the halfway line. He's done it from here often before. 10-3 the score. And it's got all the legs. Is it straight? Yes. 10 points to 6. Naas Botha, second penalty. But 10-6 it is now. New Zealanders leading. It's the halfway line on the left of your screen there. Tap back by Jannie Breert. Notice Gert Smal standing in the scrum half position. Boom Woolman grasping the ball. And Garth Wright says, here you are, Naas. Naas put a long raking kick down the left-hand touchline, being chased by Carlo du Plessis. But the ball, no, it hasn't gone over the try line. Reversing inside to Mike Clamp. Good covering by Mike Clamp there.
Good covering, not such good kicking.
Well, it didn't matter because that is the half-time whistle. So at half-time, it is the New Zealanders 10 points, the Springboks 6, anybody's game. And here we are back for the second half of this game, and we're just about to have the kick-off. There's the referee, Mr. Ken Rowlands from Wales, and the man to kick off is going to be Robbie Deans. Lovely high ball there. And a shrill blast on the whistle there for obstruction in the line-out.
Well, that's the third time the New Zealanders have been penalised for obstruction in the line-out, and the referee very strict on this law.
6 metres inside the New Zealanders' half of the game, and it's there. 3 penalties to Nasbuta. Four minutes gone, as you can see, and only 1 point the difference. Line out about 8 metres inside the New Zealanders' half of the field, and they're going to get it. But a penalty to the New Zealanders for coming into the wrong side of the ruck there. They're going to take a quick one, and O'Donnell with it. Yeah, tap penalty it looks like. Hayden's there, but inside to, this is an interesting movement. That's Alan Wetton, and he has had a great game. Murray Mexted, Jock Hobbs is there. Those are the 3 loose forwards working ideally together. Wayne Smith, Victor Simpson, he has Mike Clamp with him. Hicker Reid, Mike Clamp, reverse direction, Wayne Smith, and there's a good kick into the gap, but under it is Carl du Plessis, Jacques Reinach. And Jacarana kicking ahead. Is he obstructed there? Wait for it. Yeah, the referee giving a penalty there for obstruction, and there's a bit of rough stuff there, unnecessary, but clearly that was obstruction. Jacarana, who is so fast, he could have overhauled his man perhaps, and he was deliberately obstructed from chasing after the kick. But Nasbuta could put his side ahead, 12-10. It's one he will certainly expect to get, and there it is. A quick one by the Springboks. Long one out there to Jacarana. Didn't go to hand. And Jan Furness with it. Keeping the ball in play. Cross kick. Robbie Dean's an awkward one. And he's got to hold on now. Springboks still coming up with it. Good work by Andrew Donald. Springboks grovelling for the ball. There it is. Second phase available. And Skalkberger going for the line. Helped by Rasmus. But the whistle is gone. It'll be a Springbok ball. By Jannie Briet, and that was being chased by Carl du Plessis there, and good covering by Mike Clamp. Desperate situation. Ball bouncing. It would have been kind bounce for Carl du Plessis if Mike Clamp hadn't been there. 69. Mulman tapping it back. Cartwright to Nasbuta. Quick one, and here's a drop goal attempt by Michael du Plessis. And it's over. Michael du Plessis, a drop goal for the Springboks. And it's not often you see him. Did he used to play fly half? He's the athlete Hugh Clayton was talking about. So that's another 3 points.
Well, we'll see it again. Watch Nasbuta. Jock Hobbs was very quick onto Nasbuta there. They had a bit of an argument beforehand. Jock Hobbs hitting Nasbuta. Michael du Plessis perfectly positioned and using the experience of a fly half to put that drop kick over.
So still it's the New Zealanders who've scored the only try of the match. They have a try and 2 penalties to the Springboks, 4 penalties and a drop goal. And that's a high ball tap back to Wright, who got man and ball at the same time. And I think Val Bartman took a bit of a knock there, or was it Wright? No, Garth Wright. That was a very difficult one for him. Reid and Gary Wetton at the back of the line. That's interesting. Helped by his brother Alan and Mexted. Hobbs, Andrew Donald up and under. Who's under it? And Hicker Reid grabbing it. And here's the rolling ball coming. No second phase. Back it goes. Warwick Taylor looking for the gap, and he's got a gap. Runs into the Springbok cover defence. Who's going to get the second phase ball here? And what does the referee say? He says it's buried, it will not come out. Another scrum. Andrew Donald. And there's Warwick Taylor in that same gap, but well tackled there by Jannie Briet. He ran into the cover defence And this is dangerous as well over the left, but nearly an interception by Reinach. If he had managed to hold that, he would have run the length of the field. And the New Zealanders still in a very good attacking situation. About 12 metres from their opponent's line. And Murray Mexted going for it. And this, very close. Jock Hobbs there, but good work by Garth Wright. Kiernes reversing to Botha under terrible pressure. Can he get his kick in? Yes, he managed to, but he hasn't found touch. He's found Craig Green. And a penalty. What is the... He's advanced at 10 metres. A penalty for offside and a bit of more lip from the New Zealanders, and once again it's been advanced another 10 metres, and discussion with the referee, and Victor Simpson is pointing out that one of his players has got an injury over on the far side. Looks like one of the Wettons, and Nasbotha from about 4 metres inside his own half of the field. You'll have a good view from here. 15-10 the Springboks lead at the moment. Big crowd, very quiet. And will it curl in? Wait for it. No. Past the right-hand post, and it remains 15 points to 10 after 22 minutes of the second half. And the only try of the match to the New Zealanders so far, scored by Andy Donald. We had 2 penalties by Robbie Deans as well for them. And for the Springboks are dropped by Michael du Plessis, and those 4 penalties by Nasbotha. Wayne Smith, who's had a good game this afternoon. And up there, Scout Burger to take it, but there's Gary Wetton there as well, and it's the New Zealanders getting the ball from the ruck. Warwick Taylor, Wayne Smith, cutting back inside. They do that an awful lot, and second phase to them as well. Hicker Reid, what a game he's had today, and that is Wetton, Gary Wetton. The tackle on him, but second phase again. That was Steve McDowell. Long pass to Hicker Reid, up to Victor Simpson. This could be dangerous. Victor Simpson looking for support. And he's got it, and Robbie Deans right up there from the fullback position. They're on the Springbok 22-metre line, just in from the far touch. Second phase again, and out it had Robbie Deans to Wayne Smith. He got a man over, I think, but he played it back inside. And there's the rolling kick for the wing. Carl du Plessis chasing it, Mike Clamp chasing it. Carl du Plessis tackled by Mike Clamp, and Warwick Taylor is there as well. Donnie Gerber managed to get it back to Jannie Brecht, and Jannie Brecht to the rescue. And Paul bounced in the field of the play and scudded out. There's Jannie Brecht, who's had a very good game in cover defence today. And the referee wanting that half-metre gap between the 2 lines. And the 1 metre between each player in the line. Deepan Mexted, good tap back there. Jannie Brecht was there, Hobbs with it. And this is a penalty for
coming in on the wrong side of the ruck.
And Jock Hobbs has also had a fine game, number 7 there. Captained the side well, he's kept the forwards together. And Robbie Deans is going to have a long shot at goal from 5 metres inside his own half of the field. 15-10 it is, Springboks leading. And wait for it. And it hits the crossbar. That's unbelievable. And Gerber with it, Nasbotha. And a long kick by Nasbotha. Victor Simpson waiting for it. Hasn't found touch. That's Vic Simpson. He's got Mexted with him. Keeping it in play. Garth Wright chasing for it. Still in play. Gert Small. And Kiernes waiting for it. And the New Zealand chaps all up there. Hicker Reid with it. They've got the whole line there. And they'll want second phase. They're going to get it. I think it's good work by the forwards. Wetton, Alan Wetton. Nasbotha trying to stop the rot with a tackle. And here it is, back again. Wayne Smith, this could be a try. If he'd let it out, he had a double overlap there. And will they get it again from this ruck? And a penalty to the Springboks this time. Well, that was as close can be.
Well, that was again good play by the New Zealanders, and Wayne Smith just choosing the wrong option, going on the wrong side. If he'd come to this out grandstand side of the field, I think he would have had about a 5-2 situation. Hicker Reid in the thick of things, wonderful running by him. Alan Wetton, who's had a very, very good game, he was up there, and then at the vital stages. But remember, good defence by the Springboks.
Last Buerta trying to settle things down now. He'll want to get as far away from his own try line as possible. And that was at one time when one could be certain he wouldn't miss touch. Put the Springboks back into their opponent's half of the field. Because the Springbok defence really at 6s and 7s.
They were at 6s and 7s, and for the first time Alan Wetton really went barging through their defences, and Jacko Reinach I think has pulled a hamstring muscle. I saw him holding the back of his thigh, and I think Helgard Miller is going to get his first test cap.
And that was Dr. Augie Cohen, the Springbok doctor, who went on, and being a doctor he could tell the referee immediately that Jacko Reinach was not fit enough to continue, and here for the first time is a test cap for that delightful young Free Stater, Helgard Miller, the chap who played cricket for South Africans for Free State schools and rugby for them as well. Grey College he was at, and he would be delighted to get a chance. And from the line out, the referee, I think, said not straight.
No, I think it's going to be a penalty kick. Murray Mexted pushing Jannie Beert in the back there. Well, it was quite interesting. Mexted actually went sort of mipped really to go around Jannie Beert at the back of the line out, and then we see it. You see Mexted coming back. Jannie Beert just stood, and there's the shove. Jannie, hands in the air, appealing to the referee, and the referee had seen it.
And here's a chance for Lars Buerta. He's about 6 metres inside the New Zealanders' half of the field, 15 metres in from the far touch. We'll have a good view of this. 15 points to 10. Can he make it 18 to? And it looks pretty good. Wait for it. Yeah. So that is Lars Buerta's 5th penalty goal. And that score made up by 5 penalties and a drop for the South Africans and 2 penalties and a try for the New Zealanders. 18 points to 10.
Well, again, I think, Chick, we saw the undisciplined play of the New Zealanders. Murray Mexted, not like him to do a thing like that right in front of the referee.
And here's the ruck. Will the New Zealanders win it again? I think the referee says there was not forward. I'm sure the Springboks would love to score a try to be able to convince everybody they deserve to win this test match, because so far the only try of the game has been scored by Andrew Donald for the New Zealanders. Midway between the Springbok 22 and the halfway line. Lars Buerta on the blind side, and over Robbie Deans' head. It's not going to go over the... Oh yes, Robbie Deans cleverly waiting for it to roll over the try. As Bartman that was coming up very quickly. Left for play 4 minutes of ordinary time. 18 points to 10. Lead of 8 points, which means the New Zealanders will have to score twice if they're going to either draw or win this match. Referee, I think, deciding the ball had not crossed the line. It's a trick that Wayne Smith's done quite often. He kicks it across the line just and then flicks it back through his feet.
But again, Chick, I think surprising that he would do that. The Springboks were right on the spot, 2 players to 1, yet he still tried to do it.
Here could be a drop goal attempt. No, reverse play. Michael du Plessis, that is Karel du Plessis. Kunis looking for support, and he's got it, Val Bartman. And to pick it up is Gary Wetton. Look at that. New Zealand is going forward, and second phase to Hicker Reid. Runs into Val Bartman. Up there to Warwick Taylor and Craig Green. Craig Green trying to pick up Victor Simpson. Referee waiting for advantage. 2 minutes of ordinary time to go. And it is the New Zealanders to throw. Steve McDowell coming into staying out. So it's a 6-man line. He's going to get a tap back there by Wetton. Referee waiting for advantage again. Victor Simpson with it. Yes, it is advantage. And Uli Schmidt shadowing Victor Simpson into the hands of Karel du Plessis. Will he run it? And he's now Helgard Miller, the first time he's touched the ball in this game. And that's out to Jacko Reinach, to Donny Gerber. Donny Gerber over the 22-metre line, but the cover defence was there.
Well, that's lovely to see the Springboks opening it up. Karel du Plessis really has got such superb timing. You very, very rarely see him bumped into touch. You very rarely see him die with the ball. And there again, he just showed his worth coming onto the open side. Perfect timing of the pass.
And could be the last line out of the game. And a good tap back. Edward Donald. Back it goes. They're keeping it alive. Robbie Dean's with it now. And Mike Clamp, tackled by Carlo Duplessis. Who'll get second phase. Once again, back to Warwick Taylor. Warwick Taylor looking for support. Good pass by Robbie Deans out to Victor Simpson. But Duplessis tackles him, Michal. And referee waiting for advantage. Here's advantage. Val Bartman with it. Tried to get his pass away. Referee plays play on. Helgard Muller. Into the gap. Garthwaite was going to score. Garthwaite! And Garthwaite has scored his first try in the test match. And good refereeing. The referee said play on. He said there was an advantage. They waited for the advantage. And Garthwaite went over for a beautiful try.
Well, you can see just how delighted Garthwaite is. Very good lead-up play. And as Chick said, good refereeing by the referee there. Here we see it again. Val Bartman in possession. Now watch for the new man on the field, Helgard Muller, as he comes almost a high tackle by Gary Knight. Then the second phase came. Gary Knight, Uli Schmidt got it out for them very well. He stuck away Helgard Muller. Lovely little tap by him. Then a good, watch how quick Garthwaite is. He's very quick. Actually beat Carl Duplessis in a celebrity road race the other day. Great try by Garthwaite.
Converted by Nas Botha. So the Springboks go into a lead of 24 points to 10. And very good refereeing. Hugh, I think that would have been a penalty for a high tackle if the referee had not seen the advantage, a clear advantage occurring, and he let play go on. Good work by Helgard Muller, as you said, and Garthwaite must be the happiest young 22-year-old guy in South Africa right now.
Yes, in fact, there have been appeals by the players, Springbok players, on 2 occasions for transgression of the laws. First of all, there was a knock-on, then there was a possible penalty, but the referee let it go.
And we're in injury time at the moment, 41 minutes gone on the stopwatch, and the last gasp chance for New Zealanders to see if they can't get. And there is no side. That is the final whistle, and the Springboks have won this game by 24 points to 10 after they were behind 6 points to 10 at half-time.
Yes, we lost our rhythm somewhere along the way. I was quite confident the way things were going at half-time, but most concerned at the number of decisions that seemingly went against us. That continued, and I think the players became a little despondent. Every time we seemed to get down onto the opposition or the Springbok territory, we've got so many penalties against us. I think the count was something like 19 to 8. Discipline dropped a little. We were marched back a couple of times, which wasn't good. The guys just lost it at that stage.
We did the haka today, mainly to scare the hell out of the Springboks. But instead, I think we scared the referee.
Try by Garthwaite is a wonderful try, and we may see that again if we can see that try by Garthwaite a little bit later on. But really, a lot of indiscipline. Well, Nas Botha deserves the champagne. There's a magnum for him. And in true Grand Prix style, all over the camera. But I think really South Africa took their chances. The New Zealanders didn't. The New Zealanders will be unhappy with the referee today. I saw a couple of them going after the game and really remonstrating with him, and they were unhappy. Here we'll see that try again. See the referee Val Bartman there with the ball. He ran into the situation there. That's definitely a high tackle. The referee throws his hands in the air saying play on. You can see him there quite clearly. Garthwaite to Helgard Muller. A chip by the Free State Centre. Nicely placed. And watch the speed of this little scrum half. Brilliant.
The New Zealanders were left to rue their decision to omit the talented Grant Fox. Robbie Dean slotted 2 first-half penalty goals, but later missed several crucial chances. At fly-half, Wayne Smith erred badly at times by playing back to his forwards, when he might have stretched the defence, but Alan Whetton's selection proved an inspired one. There was a feeling on the day that the better team had lost, but full marks to the Springboks for their courageous defence in tight corners. The two giants in World Rugby had finally clashed again. This time the Springboks triumphant in a tough and tight battle for rugby glory. The tour was now over. The battle won. Rugby had triumphed.
I thoroughly enjoyed the series. I thought the standard of rugby was 100%. I really enjoyed every moment and every game, no problem.
Tonight, of course, is an occasion where we rejoice as South Africans. we've won the series, but then, of course, we must pay tribute to 32 wonderful people who came and who made this tour possible.
Again, to Transvaal, thank you very much for the invitation. Or should I say the players came here because they weren't allowed to come last year because of a court order. And we came this year because we thought we should come, and they wanted to come, the players, and I'm sure we go back with no regrets.
The people of South Africa have shown us the hospitality we've come to expect. Thank you very much indeed from the team. We've had some wonderful opportunities, some wonderful experiences, and these sort of things, the people we've met, those will be our fondest memories of this trip. To Nas and the Springbok side, our congratulations on the winning of the series. You know how desperately both teams were to win. That you won 3-1 is a credit to you and your side, Nas, and we sincerely congratulate you for that.
Firstly, I want to say thank you to the people that brought out the Cavaliers to play in a series against us. I think we really deserved it in South Africa to play international rugby, and I think today we proved it. Firstly, to Transvaal Rugby Union, Mr. Louis Late, Yellow Pages, Toyota, I'm still waiting for my Cressida, and then all the supporters, the other sponsors, the rugby lovers, we all just want to say thank you to you. And then I think from the Springbok side, I just want to say to Ian, Colin, the Cavaliers, Andy, you and your team, thank you for coming out. It took a lot of you to come out, to make up the decisions, to come out and play against us. And we just want to say, thank you for giving us the opportunity to play against you.
We wish these Cavaliers a safe journey back. We will miss them. I myself will definitely miss them. And the hour has now arrived for them to go back. They don't know what is waiting for them. We don't know what is in store for them. But we hope that things will turn out as they should turn out. And that's leave them alone. And now, Mr. Rowlands, will you come forward and receive another whistle, which I hope you'll never blow again today.
At the end of the day, what are Andy Dalton's impressions of South African rugby?
Well, it's certainly as strong as ever, there's no doubting that. I've got to say that because they beat us 3-1, and they did well to do so. Forwards are still as big as ever, huge forwards wherever you go in South Africa, very hard, and they weigh more than we do in New Zealand. That wore us down at times. We were trying to move the ball away from them. Your backs, very strong, your Springbok backs in particular, very strong runners with the ball, and have a great ability to stand up in the tackle, which your forwards are able to feed off. Very much quicker than we are on the hard grounds. I don't think our players are used to those for a starter, and it'll be interesting to see how the Australian backs go against the Springboks on these sort of conditions.
Gentlemen, I think I can say that the Cavaliers are not here because they agree with our political system. I believe they are here because they wanted to open doors that had been closed by political intervention in sport. They came because they firmly believe that it is a sportsman's inherent right to compete against any person or in any country of his choice. Their decision to come to South Africa is therefore a giant step towards depoliticizing rugby and sport in general. This tour will take its rightful place in the history of rugby. Its significance cannot be evaluated at this stage, but it could be a turning point in amateur rugby. And I'm addressing the Cavaliers now because you had the courage of your conviction To come to South Africa in the face of great opposition, you have opened the doors for others to follow. In rugby history, you will be seen as pioneers and not as rebels.
Well, playing-wise, certainly the standard of rugby is very high indeed. Let's hope that our tour here has opened the door for the likes of the Australians, the French, the Lions and so on to come here. I'd be thrilled if South African rugby can be seen again on the world scene.
It's shown that individuals, well, particularly in New Zealand, but from the repercussions of us coming here, we've heard from other countries, that players do want to come to this great country and want to compete against your sportsmen on the field. And I think that we've sort of gone against the wishes of our government and our own union. It shows that it probably is a breakthrough for South Africa, and what I hope it will do for South Africa is open, in the rugby world, is open doors that should never have been shut.
Yeah.